All right, folks, welcome back here. 2026. I'm kicking it off here tonight, Rockingham style. Ought to be a good one. It's a bumpy style track here tonight. These boys here at the Spartan Sim Racing League here at the Master Series should be able to master this track pretty good. Wes, we're in qualifying right now. Had great with the Christmas and the New Year's. Hope everybody had a great one. Kicking it back off here. Rockingham can be a tricky track. Known for being bumpy, though.
Yeah, I was watching that all during practice and qualifying. They were bouncing as though it was a roller coaster or a rock concert. Just up and down, up and down, up and down. I'm worried about the drivers getting some sickness in the cars.
And we've talked about this week in, week out, even in the past, setups. And I think a lot of that's going to matter here tonight of how you have your car. Obviously, you've got this thing too tight on the tight side. It could end up just rocking around on you here. It looks like qualifying came to a close, running a little warm-up. But, and then we also tonight, it's tribute to, Greg Biffle. And unfortunately, right before Christmas, and we did on our last race there of 2025, he lost his life with his family in a plane crash here in North Carolina. Just an unfortunate, tragedy. Greg Biffle had a great career here in NASCAR. Most of the time, most of his career raced for Jack Rouse Racing. Had a great career in the trucks and whatnot. So tonight, most of the paint jobs we'll be talking about them throughout the race. All of them are kind of in a tribute to him. And then obviously lap 16, we'll have a moment of silence for him.
Yeah, and again, it's been a couple of weeks, but still a huge miss for the NASCAR community. He wasn't necessarily everyone's favorite driver going up, but I think it's more so once he stepped off the track, people started getting behind him in his humanitarian movements as well, helping out Helene when it hit us here in the Western North Carolina mountains. He stepped in, gave us a lot of support, both financially and then also running missions and stuff with helicopters. So that's another reason people would know his name, and it's going to be a lot of black, red, and white out on track today, so be patient with us if we get a couple drivers wrong because they all look the same.
Absolutely, like you said, it's going to be a good one there. And right there, you see on the screen, that's his most known, I think, paint job, the 3M one. Been known for driving it. Obviously, some of the other ones, and some of them, heck, I might even have to look up or maybe have your help out there, Wes, on them because I'm not familiar with a lot of them. I know you, like the KFC one we saw earlier, you said you really, really like. I don't ever recall him racing that one, but, that's something I'd have to look up and see. I've known him for that 3M one. Some of his maybe earlier ones and so forth that he raced in.
I'm sorry, Joe. I completely missed that. I had someone coming to my room.
Oh, no. Well, I was just saying that like the 3M paint job there. And, some of the paint jobs tonight, I'm probably going to really have to have your help on because a lot of them I'm not familiar with. And I know we talked about before, like the KFC one we'll see out here tonight. I wasn't familiar with that one. And I know you're familiar with a lot of the paint jobs that he ran throughout his career. Some of them I didn't know. I mean, even like the Wii car. I don't even know when he ran a Wii car.
I don't remember that one myself. A lot of the ones I remember as being the 3M cars, which we see 3 different renditions of right there in shot.
Yeah. And there's another one that popped up over there too.
Yeah, there's a lot of different iterations of it. So a lot of it's going to be 3M cars. That's what he was known for. My favorite one was his National Guard car. Yes, that we saw a while ago. I think it was maybe 06, 07, around that time frame during one of the Coke 600s. That was personally my favorite Biffle car that was made.
Absolutely. You can sit here right now to go back green. Well, not green yet. We're on a little warm-up time here, folks. And just sitting here talking about, because tonight's appreciation race for Greg Biffle. I mean, these guys, man, out here tonight, are going to be in with, Greg Biffle themes. That's going to be the theme of tonight. So, sit back, relax. Rockingham, it's going to be a long, bumpy one for these guys here tonight. We talked about in the past of how setups is definitely going to be the thing that I think these guys have to work on with this track. This place can get out from under you. They don't. It's been a while since they've done an actual NASCAR, cup car race. Let's say it that way. They actually did have a truck race here recently, but it's been a very long time since they have had a NASCAR Cup race. Now, I don't know if you heard the news, Wes. IHRA just bought Rockingham Speedway.
Which, good news. Not necessarily going to be going away for a while, but
right.
Because personally, I'm looking forward. I've bought tickets for 2026 this year, so looking forward to go to the Rock. So hopefully can go maybe every other year or so, as long as it stays here and stays on rotation.
And what following on what I'm going to say too is because it's been a while since the Cup Cars is, but yet now this year 2026 it'll be the first year in quite a while. I have to go back and do some research on how long. It'll be the first year that you actually have an official Cup race here, and it will be during the playoffs. As a matter of fact, it takes one of the Charlotte races, if I'm not mistaken, is what they were talking about. So, along with the news that IHRA have bought the track itself, and with it getting an actual Cup Series race coming this season, you're right, not going anywhere. Maybe get a little bit of updates. The one thing I would like to see them not do yet, pave it. Because that will take away all them bumps and the characteristics of this track, I think.
I agree with you there. I don't want them to repave it. I don't want them to do any major rework of it yet. Because like you said, it's bumpy out here. We can see the cars bouncing around during this little practice warm-up. And characteristics of tracks are something you either love or hate. I personally like seeing how each different track handles and races. And Rockingham being one of the bumpiest and also not quite an intermediate track, but also not quite a short track, and it's special configuration, I guess you could call it. I definitely think is interesting, and I want to see it stay.
I do too, because a lot of times, and unfortunately, it's just opinions that hey we have up here, and I know a lot of race fans have them. Is they've messed up a lot of tracks, and the one track that comes to my mind is probably Atlanta, along with Bristol. There'll be two tracks there. Those two tracks had their own characteristics about them. Do they need them after a while? Absolutely. All tracks do. You have to refresh them. But they went in and majorly changed those tracks a lot, especially Bristol. And there's been mixed feelings over the years about it. So we'll have to see. I know they will have to add, I think, like the safer barrier or some things like that to the track. Unless they did that when the Truck Series came along. Again, apologize, folks. I haven't kept up with the real world over that much. The drag strip was where I hung out a lot at, which is right across the street from me.
As you just see a whole pile right there.
I don't remember racing that one there. Well, that's Wash Dad's. That's still looks like Flash on the front.
Yeah, I'm still confused about what exactly Wash Dad's is.
Yeah, some sort of body wash type thing. But as far as the paint job, it's almost like it had a flash on it or something. So
I did see the flash. I want to say that's based on one of Biffle's schemes, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not 100%. Most of these out here are supposed to be Greg Biffle's. I'm not sure if all drivers out here are running them or not, folks. So hey, stay tuned. This should be a good one here. They're in a little warm up right now, so that's why you kind of see them out here driving, getting a feel for the track. We'll get set here to grid them up here tonight. First race of 2026. I hope everybody had a wonderful New Year's and a great Christmas, man, and a past. I love that time of year here, kicking it off, watch the ball drop and so forth. And the football fans out there, we're heading off into the playoffs, heading off into all that stuff. So should be a very good. Biffle did run a flash game. Yeah, without me having to go and research it again, and maybe the fans out there too, and Wes here with me can maybe find out real quick on that. So somebody out there said he did run a flash scheme. It had to be during maybe one of the movies or something.
The 2004 scheme that he ran.
Okay. So curious about the Wii one.
That was back during the COT era, from what I saw.
Ah. But Devin had to be around, what, 07, 08, 09 area. It had to be around that area. That's when the Wii was around. And Subway, now that's the other one that I know he's real famous for too. Yeah, Subway, 3M, the Wrangler, I hope I said that right. Those three are the ones that I really know him from. And
Yeah.
you see a Wrangler car there.
Biffle schemes from 07. Ran it out Watkins Glen is one of the big ones that's mentioned here, at least
Okay.
what I can see. I think that was the only one. Could be wrong.
There's a Wrangler car right there. So yeah. And those three are the ones I'm familiar with, though. It's going to be interesting to see some of the other cars. I mean, it's a good-looking weed machine, though. We'll give them credit. There's another rendition of kind of the 3M style. There's several different paint schemes of that one. Looks like that's going to put a close here to our warm-up, folks. And again, we're going to sit here and we're going to go a little grid and see what we got here tonight. Who putting it up on pole? As the man puts it out front here, that's going to be William Phillips putting it up front to start us off. Timothy Latham going to be the man starting in second. Mark Sanchez there starting third. Michael Tucker up in the fourth. Jose Medina starting in the fifth. Justin Boyle starting in sixth. Colton Gardner, he's in the seventh. Shane Clore, he's starting in the eighth. Greg Carr there in ninth. Thomas Kolmacheski starting in 10th. Alexander Hammonds, he's starting in the 11th. John Bender starting there in the 12th. 13th place spot, we got Jeremy Sumter. 14th, we got Art Nicotera. 15th, JP Jones. 16th, Alex Carr. We got Kyle Westwood starting in the 17th. And Kevin Zozak starting in 18th. Joshua Hyatt there in 19th. Dakota Jorgensen, he's starting in 20th. And Kyle Gerlach there in 21st with Joshua Hunt in 22nd. Hart, in 22nd. And David Salter there in the 23rd. And missing a few guys. Genningsman.
Genningsman.
Yeah, okay. Well, you said Genningsman the other night, by the way, on a broadcast I watched.
Oh, my bad.
That's like he's trying to throw me off.
Yeah. Genningsman, he's not here. Another one we're missing, Grootsmacher. Then Dave's not here. I knew he said he was going to be tight on schedule being out of town.
Yeah. A lot of them come back to holiday seasons, stuff like that. Some been out of town for New Year's, Christmas, and so forth. So, nonetheless, here we go. We're getting set to go green flag tonight. This one's going to be a good one, the Rockingham style, bumpy track. We're going to look on board here, see what we got. Well, who's your favorite here?
It's my favorite here. I don't know. With what I've been watching in practices and what I've been hearing, I'm going to look at the man starting 7th place. Yeah, okay. Starting 7th there, Colton Gardner.
Oh, Gardner? Okay. Man, it's hard to bet against Tucker, but I don't know. Let's see. Well, Jose. I'll go with Jose, man. Jose Medina. See what he's got tonight. Pace truck's in. Ducks off pit road. Here we go. Green flag's about to fly. First race of 2026 in the air. We're getting set here. Let's do it.
It is nice and simple. Turn 1. Got Phillips. He's already clear through the lead. Top 4 already singled out. So lovely to see here. Hopefully the boys take it nice and easy first couple of laps and just get into a steady run.
Yeah, and you can see maybe that, it's a little bit due to the fact of, hey, look, this track, man, is so bumpy. We're trying to get the hang of what's going on out here. So we'll have to see. This says Latham. Okay, here you go, Latham.
Dave says he's got money on Latham. Okay.
Yeah, Latham. Well, right now, Latham looking strong there in second. Just trying to be patient. And this is kind of one of the tracks where you would tend to probably want to be a little bit patient. We tend to see some side-by-side racing as the race goes on. Tire wear, I think this is one of the tracks where, maybe tire wear will come into play. This track can chew some tires up. Obviously, this is open setup, so we'll have to see how those setups, fare here tonight.
Yeah, bumpy tracks. It's also a rough track. You can see right there, at least with the rendering that iRacing has given us, cracks all over the racetrack. So probably going to be some chewing of the tires. I'm not going to be surprised if people try to come down pit road more often if they're able to under caution.
And you see right there, I mean, you're bumping, and even with the bumping, it just sends those RPMs going. You'll see him go to the turn here, riding along here with Sanchez. Off the, you know, you use a little brake here. You're not a lot, but you still use a little bit to slow that car down. Not too bad, but it's still, you can feel it inside that car. Can you actually feel it, see it through the wheel there?
Yeah, depending on how much force feedback the guys run, I know some will even run none, so depending on how much they run, they'll probably feel it in their hands all night. Some guys might be a little sore to come into the race.
Absolutely. Sanchez right there along with it. Up front, you got Tucker, man. He's looking on the inside. You know, you can do some good passing here on this track, too. You know, just got to kind of set it up. You know, we'll kind of see who's a little bit better on these longer runs. And I think this kind of fits a driving style for a guy that might want to be a little bit patient out here than other than being a little aggressive. You know, just because of I think how this place, you know, can chew the tires up, and then right there you can get a little bit loose coming out of the turn.
Yeah, patience, I agree, I think is going to be the winning strategy here. And Dave's saying our 2021 champion is due. This style of race suits him. Latham, he's one of the more patient guys. So I think Dave might be on the nose here with us saying we want probably going to be a patient driver. That's where they're going to come through. So Latham, I think Dave might be right in that ballpark.
Right now you got Boyles and Clore right there along with you. Saw Clore looking smooth. You saw Tucker, man, slides just a little bit right there in front of him. Good battle going on right here around 5th and 6th place spot. We'll see if Clore's able to make that pass. He's able to, but then you see that car instantly get tight. Well, actually, that's Boyle, get a little tight going in the middle. And, you know, tend to, we talk about this in the past in a lot of races. You know, you go in, you get a little bit tight through the middle, then get kind of loose coming off. As something that, as a crew chief, really, there's no way to fix that. You know, you're either one or the other. You kind of have to tell the driver, say, look, we can kind of fix maybe one. You have to deal with the other one. It's just something that drivers hate to feel. They'd rather be kind of neutral throughout the track.
Yeah, tight loose within one set of corners, not something that's fun to deal with, because you're sliding up mid-track and then you put wheel in to stop the slide and then you snap loose because the car's just upset through the rest of the corner. So prefer to be neither, but not always going to happen. As right there we see Boyles, he gets around Tucker. He's now up to third. You
know, and we've seen Boyles in the past do this. He's not had the best qualifying, had a pretty good qualifying tonight, but not had the best qualifying to come through the field. You know, you talk about, man, Latham, this might be his style of race. I think maybe, you know, the way we've seen him run, this might be his kind of race too. You know, patience, you know, being a long run. If you get the long run, right now we're on a pretty good solid green flag run. And you already see him picking off some spots up here. You see Tucker trying to fight back on the inside, but, you know, variable lines to him. Notice that. Some guys want that middle high, some want the low.
Yeah, Boyles, when he was making those passes, he was right up against the wall here through 1 and 2, giving him a great run down the backstretch to where he was able to nick inside another car. Probably the best way to set up the pass, but I'm not sure what the difference, like we said, tire wear, how much this track's going to eat those tires. Not sure which line's going to give you the best tire saving. I would think it would be the inside line. I've heard the inside line always going to help you save tires, but not quite sure tonight.
You know, I noticed right there while you was explaining that a little bit, I noticed, watch Tucker right here. He drives that into the turn. That's going to use a little more tire than what Boyles is. He looks like he's actually, you know, you ever heard that term, slow in, fast out? It's actually what Boyles looks like he's doing here as opposed to what Tucker on those turns. He's diving it in just a little bit more. From a racer standpoint, you know, I agree with you. They talk about the low line, you know, not using as much tire wear. But if you're driving it in that hard, after a while, those tires will give up the ghost.
Yeah, and just look behind this as well. You leader of Phillips, he's got a nice, healthy 2-second lead over Latham in second. And then Boyles, he's got about 3/4 of a second gap to this big fight behind them. That's Tucker and Boyles, and then right behind them it's just a whole lot of cars lined up.
Yeah, I'm seeing it right there. You know, I was watching the battle there between Boyles and Tucker. Let's keep an eye back there behind them. You got Clore, Sanchez, Kolmacheski, Medina and company. They're all on top of each other. If one of these guys makes a little slip, they're definitely going to go around. There's kind of some of the variant cars we're talking about. Obviously, the Gander car we know about, you know, posted car, but the KFC one kind of one of, you know, oddball, probably one-off styles, along with the Wii style paint scheme that Greg Biffle, you know, used out here. But
the Wii one was a one-off. From what I can see, KFC wasn't a one-off. He ran it a good bit later in his career.
Well, folks, man, we're going to do a little bit here. We're going to take this lap, man, this next lap here, too, also, and a moment of silence for the man out there, the number 16, Greg Biffle. Folks, stay tuned. All right, we're back here, folks. You know, like I say, just want to remember him right there. You know, Greg Biffle, man, just unfortunate. Him and his family, you know, in a plane crash, man, just a couple of weeks ago. But, you know, great racer out here, racing Jack Rouse Racing. And tonight, you know, they're celebrating the race here. So pretty much about every car out here is painted in one of his paint schemes in the past. And we've been talking about it, you know, a lot of it, except for the Conti car right there. He said, couldn't find him one at the end, but that's okay. But just a good guy all around. We talked about it in the pre-race show there about Greg Biffle, who he was, and you talked about it there, Wes. He's a great, you know, even when he finally stepped away from the racing, he was known for. We got to call around. That's Hammonds into the wall. That's one in the night. And he brings a caution. So I can see what happened to Hammonds here. Got bit by Rockingham. And that's just typical of what we've been talking about all night. Cars just get bumpy and right there and lose it. All right, caution. First time here tonight.
Caution, and it's about halfway what I would think the guys would take for tires. 5 sets on pit road plus what they start on, so 6 sets total. Got about 50 laps a set. Though, like we said, we don't know how much this track's going to be eating tires with tire wear, so who's going to take, who's not.
Absolutely.
Top 5 all come in.
Yeah. I would think as long as they've been out there that it's probably due to take some tires. I think 4 tires is going to be the norm here. A couple guys stayed out, though. I agree. Sanchez, Medina, Gardner, Hart. Well, I've called him everything in the book there. Hart and J.P. Jones all stayed out. Although we did get a 2-tire stopper there. That's Westwood and John Bender. It looks like Joshua Hyatt. A couple others in the back there, so I don't know. As tire heavy as this place is, I think I would probably stay with the 4 tires.
Oh, Phillips, did he get caught speeding, get a black flag?
You know, that's what it looks like. Let's go back and see if I can catch him coming out of the pits here. This is him coming down, making his pit. He looks good there. I mean, he would have had to have hit. You see the white line there, folks, and that's kind of tattletale line. Because if you see the other white line there, in between those lines, and that's a good thing here, but I mean, he would have. I don't know, unless he got caught coming in.
Either coming in, maybe driving through too many pit stalls on his way to his box. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, because let's watch it one more time here since we're on the caution. Got to be the pit box thing.
I think it was one too many pit boxes. I think he just clipped one a little bit too much.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can see, because as far as his speed goes, just by looking at that, it looks okay. But we're back green here. Well, you know, like I say, a good solid night here tonight. Rockingham. Sanchez out front. The top three did not pit. Closest man here is going to be Westwood. And then you got Tucker right here, and this is a good side-by-side battle because you got Hart, Kluwer, and company, and right there in the middle, man, Hart, he did not pit, so he's in there with old tires right in the middle of a lot of guys with 4. This is usually where disaster can strike.
Yeah, it's going to be hang on and keep the car underneath you with all these guys come blasting by you. What I'm thinking is he was banking on probably another caution coming out closer to what he wanted for a tire cycle. I would assume he's probably trying to split the laps all to about 50 a run, like I was calculating, at least based on average of how many sets of tires they had on the car and available in pit lane. So he might be hoping for something along those lines, but right now, gamble kind of paid off, but now it ain't.
Yeah, and he's back there in ninth, but the gamble paying off right now is the top 3 guys for the moment. You got Sanchez out front, Medina right there in second with Gardner. You see them; those 3 guys have about a half a second on Tucker, who is the first one with the 4 sets of tires. You got Kluwer, the other one right there behind him. You know, so it takes us back here to, can this be a track position style track? Can somebody hold up with 20-some lap different tires here? Maybe something to think about at the end of the race. You know, you're marred back there in traffic. There's only maybe about 15 or 10 to go. Can I take that gamble, 2 tires, no tires, and get the track position up front and get out front here? We're seeing it work so far, but I mean, they are ever so slightly, they are, you know, closing in there. Tucker and Kluwer. So they kind of got a little bit spread out back here in the back. Let's go further on back here. And Phillips, he is still on the lead lap. He had to go back to 15th, so he didn't go back to the longest line. I'm going to say that had to be the like you were talking about, the pit stop stalls.
Too many boxes.
I'm going to say that's got to be it.
And Phillips, though, just based on how he ran away at the start of the race, we know he's good out in clean air, and right now it's looking like he's doing pretty good back in a pack, able to cut through some traffic.
You know, I've talked about that, you know, a million times. Guys that get out front, dominate races, they know what their car is going to do. And in a fixed setup, you know what your car is going to do and how you're going to drive. In an open setup, you know how your setup's going to do out there. You don't know what your setup's going to do like here. So how balanced is his setup now? Can he stay back here in the pack? Can he come through, pick them off one by one? Right now, it seems pretty stable. It doesn't look like many, you know, it's you know, too far off the pace. You know, it don't look like it's coming through the field like gangbusters, but he is going to try to see if he can't make up some ground here. So, I mean, that's something he'll watch and kind of battle. So maybe this was kind of blessing in disguise, because, you know, once you're out there dominating, you know, Wes, you know, and I know you never really want to get back in the back of the pack, but this kind of forced him to get back here and see what his car is going to do. See this battle here.
Great action side by side, really tight on exit there. 36, a car almost getting up into Westwood, able to stay off each other though. Westwood now all the way up high. He's going to let Cole Macheski to his inside through 1 and 2. Loses another spot.
Yeah, that car's just not operating on the 2-tire stop that he did. It only had a 7-second stop. Someone take that, it was 2 tires. Might not have took any, just took fuel. only. But right now, it is definitely falling off the pace. And the two guys up front that are maintaining, obviously Shane Clore and Tucker are running them down. But Medina, man, and Sanchez was able to hold their own up there for a while up front, still leading. As you see, Clore, man, is going to probably just take this one over. Going to go to that inside. He's going to have a heck of a lot better tires. And you got to see, though, right there, Wes, out, even with the newer tires, he's not able to just go slinging on by him.
No, he's not. Back before, they were tucked up right behind each other. Those new tires were giving them about 2-3 second tenths of a second, not full seconds, but 2-3 tenths of a second advantage, pace-wise at least. So there is an advantage. There is definitely tire fall off, but it's always, you can drive up to them, but it's not as easy getting past them.
No, you're right, absolutely. So Dirty Air looking pretty dominant here tonight, like you were talking about right there. Michael Tucker closing up on the back door, man, of Shane Clore. You got Gardner right behind them, though he's a little over half second back with Latham. You talked about him earlier, just minding his P's and Q's back here in around 6th place spot. Boyles, he started coming through that field early on there. Right now back in 7th, trying to just kind of being stable, which again, this being open setup here, West, we don't know what kind of changes they did on those pit stops. Did they change tire pressure? Did they, I'll still call it wedge, but did they adjust the track bar or anything like that? As you see this battle here, Clore and Tucker, is Tucker's going to take it over.
Clore, he's probably eating up a bit of his tires trying to get past Sanchez, so now Tucker's going to have a shot. But like we just said as well, getting to him is going to be easy, getting past him is going to be different because of Dirty Air, and I think we are seeing Dirty Air is going to play a key factor tonight.
Sanchez still holding up front strong there with Medina hanging in 2nd. Tucker there in 3rd. You got Clore up in the 4th.
Gardner, one of the other ones that stayed out during that pit stop, he's still hanging on to 5th. He's got a decent gap to Latham behind him in 6th.
He does. He's actually looking pretty good. So we've got a battle right here behind them, though, with Bulls and Latham. Those two guys are going to go at each other. Bulls going to look to the inside, see if he can't take the spot away. And we were talking earlier, finally he's able to just sling on by. We've seen him using that high side early on, and it's just something that car looks very stable running that top, kind of middle top.
Yeah, and I think he found out where his car likes to run, or you might have wanted to run that line and made the car sit there pretty well. But definitely looks comfortable, not really shaky throughout the corner and onto exit. So definitely content with that line. He's definitely got speed with it as well.
The battle behind him here, Kolmacheski car, Latham there along with it. Latham's cars look like he's falling off just a little bit. You see Kolmacheski right there on that high side, car run on the inside. Here comes Kolmacheski to see if he can't make that pass. And let out of it just a little bit. Once he stays, I think, side by side throughout the turn, he might have him. He's not coming out of the turn, at least going into the next time by. Say that. Holding his own up there, though, Latham is in that top side.
Yeah, just momentum off that higher banking allows him to keep the fight going, and now keeping the spot sitting right there in front of Kolmacheski.
Good battle right there around 7th, 8th place spot. Latham, Kolmacheski car. That's Alec car and Greg car. Both car guys.
And look right behind him. There's Phillips.
Yeah, he's moving up through. So, yeah, and like I said, this is a good test right here for how good your setup is. And, from what we saw when he was out front, definitely stable, definitely fast out there. Now in traffic, if you've got a car that is handling very good like this, I know that's a mistake you didn't want to make going on pit road. Definitely don't want to make it later on in the race because it could be way costly then. But if you're seeing how this car is reacting now, that's kind of scary for the rest of the guys on the track, because that means he's got a very solid, stable, fast machine here tonight. A heck of a battle going on in front of him.
Yeah, it is. And this is kind of the mid-cluster almost, just on on the very back of the top 10 that we tend to see almost every race. About 6th through 15th, we see a lot of action. And right there, finally, Alex Carr gets past Timothy Latham. And Cole Macheski, he's going to look to size him up again.
Yeah, I think 10th place has got that hot seat a lot of times in races. We see throughout the season and throughout the week in and week out. Like I said, good battle here. That's Latham alone right there with Cole Macheski. Those two guys that's going to go at each other. Two good-looking machines. You see that 36, Greg Carr, putting his nose in there. Thought about it for a moment, backed out of it. But Phillips in the back here. I think Phillips is just kind of just riding right now.
He is hoping that these guys in front of him don't make a huge mistake. Look at that. Not a lot of fight through the steering wheel as we go on board with Phillips. Gonna diamond off the corner a little bit. Little patient on throttle, not spin the tires and go towards the inside wall. Now gonna look outside of Latham as Latham's in the middle of the track. Get a bit of momentum off corner exit right up against the wall. Should have this clear maybe through 1 and 2 on exit.
And interesting, we go back to what we were talking about a couple of weeks ago. Staying in 4th gear as opposed to 5th gear. A lot of guys staying in 5th gear. He's running the 4th gear routine until obviously he gets in a draft, and you saw him having a shift there because he got up into the red limiter there. And you see it again. So on the front stretch, having to slightly go into 5th, but he's staying in 4th. And that machine it's almost glued to the track. He's got a very good setup here.
He does, and just watching it, he's not fighting the wheel. That little jittering is probably forced feedback that he's getting through the steering wheel. The bumps on the track, of course, making it very much like that. And yeah, again, small shift into 5th right before corner entry, then he's right back down to 4th just so he doesn't rev the car out and burn out some gas.
Absolutely. See right now, man, we're still right here with Phillips with the battle right there in front of him. Look at this going on. You got Carr, Bowles, Gardner, Clore and company right here going at each other door to door, and every one of those guys up there except for Gardner, pitted, had 4 tires, and Gardner's definitely didn't pit. But he's got caught up right now in the back of these machines here trying to get through the field. As Clore's kind of falling off, he was up there earlier.
Yeah, he was up there with Tucker, who's now he's within a second of Sanchez for the lead. So he might have put a little bit too much wear on the tires throughout the first part of this stint and such. So maybe backing off, save some tire life just in case he needs it later. And then, like we said as well, Gardner, he hasn't pitted yet. He's gone about 55 laps on that set of tires. So has Sanchez and Medina up there in 1st and 3rd.
Absolutely, and like you said, Sanchez still leading the race up there with hadn't pitted. Yeah, Sanchez, and he still got over a half-second lead over Tucker, so it paid off for him to stay out right now to see what his car's doing.
And I believe Sanchez, he's not over pushing that thing. He's just letting it ride around for a little bit. He's got old tires. He knows that his car's not going to want to stick as much. So not going to push it. Nice and steady. Keeps it in 5th. Keeps it from wheel spinning. So that's probably going to help a lot on corner exit.
Yeah. I mean, he looks smooth. Lets it drift up the track. Not forcing the wheel there. What we were talking about earlier, don't want that thing to kind of snap loose on him. So definitely looking very good up front. So man, not to have any tires at all, hadn't pitted yet. To a man right behind him, we know that's fast week in and week out. Old Tucker there, and he pitted. Meanwhile, back here battling still Alex Carr, Cole Macheski and company back here having a good feud going on. We've got Phillips in the mix there too. That's actually for about 4th on back.
4th on back, that's 3rd on back. Sanchez right there, 3rd place. He's in front of him. He's looking behind him. 2 sets of cars side by side going, oh, Lords, I'm about to be swallowed.
Yeah, you see, man, actually, what you were talking about there, it's Jose Medina. You know, he sees him in his rearview mirror. They're side by side. You got Alex Carr there, Bulls and company with Komacheski. It's a matter of time if they can get that thing situated. Who's going to get up here? You know, can Medina hold on to that spot there in third place? I mean, he's liking what he's seeing, but he said, man, that's a little bit too close for my liking. As you can see, wow, Carr drove that thing into the turn.
Yeah, he did. He wanted to keep almost. Yeah, Carr drove it in there too. Look, he's right here on exit. He's almost had Boyles clear. He saw Boyles getting momentum on the high side. Like, nah, I gotta drive it in deep to stay right alongside with him. But Carr, he's side by side with Sanchez now here on exit of 4, nearly gonna dive it once again into 1 and 2.
Ooh, thought about 3 wide. Bulls backed out of that idea. Not saying you probably couldn't do it here. I just don't know how well it's going to end up for you if you try it. And I know it looks like Bulls wants that high lane more so than he does that low line. We've seen that car, and you just see it just does not want to work on the low side. And gets a little bump there from the 36 of Greg car.
And Sanchez, he looks like he's committed to running the top, which is Boyles, like you said. He wants to run. That's where he likes his car, likes it. So kind of taking away an option for him and slowing him down just a little bit.
Well, you know, don't blink here, Wes, but right behind him, Phillips is coming. And that car has been able to go high and been able to go low, and that's when you know you've really got a heck of a setup here tonight. And we're just talking about right there with Bulls. He definitely looks like the car doesn't want to run very well down low in the high lane, but you can see here Phillips, he's able to go down on the low side, high side, and he's just passing them coming and going. He's got Subway, eat fresh.
Eat fresh, that's what he's doing with the competition. He's eating them up like it's a fresh meal served to him.
Yeah,
he's just coming through the field slowly but surely and finding his way back towards the front.
And this is what he wants. I mean, even if he can't get to that lead, get back up as many spots as he can before the pit stops here, cycle around again. And Phillips back up to 7. He sees the battle right here in front of him with Bulls and Carr. And Bulls back up on that top side. The problem is, you see Medina's up there too, taking the line away from him. And you know, Bulls is going to have to figure out, okay, how do I balance this car up to be a little bit good, kind of at least maybe a little bit down low and high at the same time. So ask Phillips.
That would be a guy I'd be asking if I could about, hey, how is your car doing that? Because yeah. Boyles definitely seems like he needs that lesson right now. Whoa, speaking of, real sideways there. He's able to save it, keep it out of the wall, so that's good. He's going to keep going, but losing a lot of momentum in track. Yeah, you saw it right there. That thing just stepped out from under him, and that's just typical, you know, Rockingham for you. You just never know. The car just gets upset, you know, kicks sideways. Maybe just trying to push it down on that low side a little bit more, trying to get what he can, and it just wasn't sticking. And when he saw right there, now he knows what he's going to have to do. But meanwhile, that opens the door for Phillips, and you can see we just talked about it here, man, Wes. I mean, look at that car. He's glued low. He's glued high. I don't know. That man right there, is he going to be the one that just beats himself? That's going to be the question. That might be the case. It might be how little mistakes he's going to make, because his car seems to just love about every inch of this track that he's seeing right now, and definitely seems to have the car to beat. Yes, it does. Up the 5th. Meanwhile, I am still impressed here by Mark Sanchez. He did not pit, did not take any tires at all. Out front, been able to hold his own up front. I mean, his lap times have really not fallen off. His last lap time actually was very well fast. I mean, a 57, obviously Carr, you know, Greg Carr, Alex Carr, and all the guys back there a little bit quicker, but Tucker too falling off the pace, even with the 4 tires. Ran a 73 that last time, so it was a 62, 73, 55, 39, 51, 55. So, I mean, everybody's kind of right there. Kind of what you'd expect between, new tires versus old, but again, man out front running a 62 on old tires, and the guys back here, I mean, the fastest one, Greg Carr, running a 39. Now, that time was a 70.
to, let's say a 57 was a little bit more, but still it's only about a tenth and a half.
Yeah, the tires kind of stabilized out. They've gone about, doing math, about 48 laps on this run. So tires kind of stabilized. You're going to see a lot of equal speed throughout the field.
Yeah.
But I want to bring your attention down to 15th, 16th. There's 10 seconds between those two places right there.
And a battle going on. That's around actually 12th place right there. And you talking about it, yeah, that's Zozak. Unfortunately, back here off the pace. He's 9.4 seconds back from Bender. And so he's back here just riding. That's a 16th place machine. You got Bender right there who is behind this pack that we were just watching battling with Medina, Latham, Jorgensen, and Sumter and company. But yeah, a big gap between, like you said, the 15th to 16th place spot. And some of those guys in that gap there too, Wes, didn't pit.
Yeah, so it's really interesting to look at this strategy. Medina, we said he was up there, restarted second or third about, and he was contending up there, and then his car's fallen off to the point where he's dropped back here. Latham, at the same time, we talked about it might be, Dave at least pointed out, he's thinking this is going to be Latham's day, how it kind of suits his style. He's fallen off. We see him. He's got a great short run car. No doubt about that. He's able to be aggressive, but as the laps tick down, his car just seems to back off the pace of what it was at the start of the run.
Yeah, you know, some guys, I mean, like, you know, Sanchez up there obviously has a setup that is holding strong even on, you know, the newer and older tires. You see Phillips being able to come through the field, too. He's got a very good stable setup. Some of the guys back here, like we were saying, with Medina, Hart and company, and even Gardner, who stayed out. Obviously, now they know, okay, our setup's not quite where we need it to be able to take that kind of gamble, unless there was only maybe about 10 or 8 laps to go. If we get in the 20 lap, maybe 25, 30 lap margin, we might want to think about at least 2 tires or the 4 tires stopped. So at least they know now they took the gamble early on in the race. So really out of that bunch, I think the only one that has really learned a lot has got to be Sanchez. And then Phillips, I guess, has learned a lot, kind of a forceful way of learning. He didn't want to. I know he probably would have much rather came back out leading the race. But I think this right here tells him that, man, I got an unbelievable setup here tonight.
Yeah, it's not a question he wanted. It's not the way he wanted to learn that information, but good that he learned it either way, I guess. So yeah, he's got a lot to look forward to. And not only did the guys that stayed out learn, hey, probably only within 10 laps we want to go no tires again, but I guarantee you all the other cars on track have learned saying, hey, they've got about, depending on how many stayed out, you have about a 10 lap buffer between when you'll really start losing time to the new tires. It's not just the guys that ran it, but everybody else just seeing how their cars were a lot faster and how much they were able to hold on.
Absolutely. The man up front right now, Mark Sanchez, been in control of this one for quite some time. Well, our first caution there early on, around lap 20-21, he stayed out. And it's been green ever since, and Sanchez has been the man up front. Tucker's been right there, kind of see if he can't running him down. He's had some lap times that have been, close to him. A little loose there coming out of that one. That's actually put Carr right there on his back door. Maybe took a little bit of air off that spool.
Maybe just a little bit. Both cars have ran down Tucker as it stands. Tucker, we said he was right there at one point almost on the rear of Sanchez and is falling back. So now he's kind of, Tucker, we know he's aggressive. He's got a fast car. He shows speed week in, week out, but might have just overused those tires. And based off of how this track's reacting, you drive aggressive early, you're going to pay the price later.
Absolutely. You see Carr right there battling on the inside. This is for second place. Tucker on the outside. Another thing you notice about this track is the package they use. It's not an intermediate track, or it's not a super speedway, it's not a short track, but you can see they're not using, it looks like they're not using the intermediate package or the super speedway package. Almost looks close to the short track package on the cars. Just going off by the rear spoiler, because anything else really we don't know. It's kind of hard to tell, but just that rear spoiler, as small as it is, kind of looks more like the short track package.
Yeah, I think you're right with that. So, and again, this track was a little weird, just in between the intermediate and short track, kind of like a Phoenix almost, where it's not quite one, not quite the other. So, interesting package run here. Definitely making the cars a little bit more reactive, I'd say, on corner exit as well. And we've seen that a couple guys getting squirrely.
It is. You see right there, Greg Carr was able to make that pass on Alex Carr. He'll see if he can't get up here, tackle Tucker, and see if he can't take that spot away. And Sanchez is loving it. He's almost got a second lead, about 8/10 out front of these guys. Cole Macheski's been able to maintain right there in fifth, and with Phillips up to sixth place, kind of neutralized out a little bit for himself, but still was able to come through the field and get up there. Bulls along with him. He kind of calmed down back here around this running we was talking about earlier. Everybody kind of single file now. Who's that? Is that Jorgensen? Yeah, he's going a little sideways. Yeah, a little flash happy.
A little flash happy. Yeah, just a little bit on the corner exit, like we said. Gonna be really where you watch, where that short package, I'd say, is gonna take effect here, with just how high speeds they're running around this smaller track. Not small little exactly, but definitely gonna be interesting to watch. And Cole Gardner, who we talked about didn't make a pit stop during that caution, he finally went into pits, got 4 fresh tires on his number 40. So he's going to be looking to make up some time with that fresh rubber.
You know, you talk about the speed. It is amazing. You can see right there in the far corner there, folks. You're going to see it in the turns. They're running about 130 mile an hour, but on that straightaway, they're getting up to 160 some. So for this track to be an intermediate style track, it is pretty fast. It reminds me almost of like speed-wise. You know, the configuration don't remind me of it, but Dover speed-wise, that place looks like a short track, but it's a mile track. Man, it has some high speeds for what it is.
I was just about to say the same thing. Kind of like Dover, it's got that large banking through the corners where you're just able to keep great momentum, and then about 175, about 150, 175 going into the turns through 1 and 2 or 1 and 3. So yeah, it reminds me a little bit of Dover. And like you said, Dover, it's a mile long, so not quite a short track, but also, again, not an intermediate. Though Dover, I typically list as a short track just based on how it's ran.
Well, yeah, and me, you know, in case of just so we don't get into the back and forth with people, anything a mile or shorter, I always call it a short track. I know that the old thing is, well, it's got to be 3/4 of a mile. Look, I'm not going to worry about tenths or seconds or thousandths, okay? I'm going off just a mile shorter. Okay. But this one actually is bigger than a mile. So it sits right in between that 1.5 and a mile. There's what, 1.25, somewhere in that area?
I think it's 1 1/4, roughly, maybe 1.3.
Yeah, and that's what makes this place unique into itself. And, you know, that's why, you know, it can be the racing here, yes, they're kind of spread out a little bit right now. But we've seen some great finishes here at Rockingham. If you look in the past, you know, a lot of great finishes have happened. I mean, especially like up here, and talking about up there, Sanchez has finally gotten the lead taken away from him from Tucker there. Took a while, though, for him to get it done. You see Greg Carr on the back end. And this is what we're talking about. This is where the great finishes come in at this place. You would think a guy's up front, he's got this thing figured out, then all of a sudden, like this right here, cars on the inside, and they're battling with each other. Seen many of side-by-side passes come out of turn 4 here.
Okay, Rockingham, it's less than a mile long, so.
Oh, okay. Well, folks, don't remind us. Okay, don't mind us up here. We're concentrating on the racing. Wow, you know. But here's the thing. Here's the thing, Wes. That place does not look like it's one of those deceiving tracks. Then it don't look less than a mile.
No, it doesn't. But
it looks a lot bigger than Dover, don't it? This place looks a lot bigger than Dover. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But great racing has given us. You just said Sanchez. He finally got past for the lead by Tucker, and then look right there, Greg and Alex Carr going right around the 8.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Appreciate that, Dave, out there. Yeah. Don't mind the commentators, man. We don't do our homework ever. we just come up here and, you know, fly by the wheel. But
We have some fun.
we have fun. That's, you know, that's what I always tell people, man. We have fun. But, well, at 0.94 miles, yeah, it's almost a dough. You might as well say you're talking about, what, 600s?
Yep.
Well, 600s if you're looking in time-wise. I don't know what you're looking at in six, but... Well, 600s. I guess that would be the same thing on a ruler. So, I mean, either way, I mean, a mile is a mile, 0.94 length here. So, but again, Wes, you put this one side by side with Dover. I guess it's just how the shape of Dover is. This place actually looks big. You know, just it's got that look to it.
It does, and I'm gonna say, based on just what we're seeing here tonight, Dover is the best thing to compare to it cup-wise.
Right.
I'd say. I'm not sure how all the teams are preparing for it later on in the schedule for Cup at least, but I'd compare it a lot to what Dover is and just expect those high speeds throughout the turns. It's not the short track that everybody would think of when you talk short track.
Now, as far as what we're talking there, as far as the two tracks, how they drive, though, I would say they would drive a way different. One's a concrete, you know, straight up concrete. I don't think this place is still asphalt.
I believe so.
And, you know, obviously with the bumps here, too, is going to be a lot different characteristics. You know, this place is not as banked as what a Dover would be. As you see now, pit stops happening with Sanchez and Tucker going to come on down pit road, so green flag stops on the way. And so, yeah, when I'm comparing it, and I know you're on the same there as opposed to how the speed is here between the two tracks and whatnot. So, I'm great racing, Rockingham. I do know this place sends. You've been to Rockingham, right?
I've not. This year's going to be my first time.
Really? Okay. Well, I've been to Rockingham plenty of times. Like I say, I hung out mostly across the street from the track because that's where the drag strip is. But Rockingham sits in a little town, and I think that was a lot of the controversy back in the day, and I think I have spoken about this before. Well, it was one of the main reasons, I think, the economy there. Where I'm at, I'm a solid about 2 hours from Rockingham, maybe a little bit over. But there's only truly one main road to get to the tracks. There is a back road to go around the backside of where the drag strip is, but there's only one main road, and that main road, unless they have widened it, and from my understanding, I don't know that they have, is only a two-lane style road. So you can imagine when probably 100,000 people, or whatever this place holds, 70,000, 80,000, trying to get in and out of there. And plus the surrounding areas, it's such a small town, there wasn't a lot of hotels and stuff. A lot of that economically is what hurt this place over the years. And ultimately, at the end, you know, it shut down. But I think, you know, now they've tried to solve some of it. I need to maybe look at some of the updates and see how they've solved some of that in and out, because it's unlike Charlotte down there where they open up 6 lanes of highway for people to get in to the race. I don't know, unless they have fully went through there and redone that whole entire road to make it a 4-lane. If it's still a 2-lane, it's still going to be a heck of a nightmare to get in and out of this track. So maybe that'll give you a little heads up. Go early. This traffic will be heavy there. I mean, it was heavy even for the drag races and stuff. So it's still good to see that this place coming back alive, along with North Wilkesboro up there, which is a lot easier to get into because it's right up the highways and stuff. But this place does sit in an area where it's just kind of out, kind of nowhere, kind of, you know, secluded. I'll help you out with your traveling tips there.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Got a car out front. Got the car guys, Greg and Alex. Olmacheski right there alone with them, sitting in 3rd. Phillips up in the 4th place spot. Hammond's hanging on right there in 5th. We got green flag pit stop, so that is shaking up the field a little bit. You know, Hyatt's going to be the first one to lap down. Bender coming on pit road right now. So guys that have taken the pit stops, obviously Tucker, Sanchez, Nicotera, Clore. The one thing I talk about with the green flag stops, it really shakes the field up here. And a lot of those guys that are lapped down right now definitely do not want to see a caution come out because they would be stuck back in the back. We got 9 cars sitting right now in the lead lap. Been able to go a long time on fuel and tires.
Yeah, Sanchez, he came in after about 99 laps, so great saving by him to do so.
So you see Greg Carr, Alex Carr out front, Komacheski right there in third, Phillips hanging on the fourth with Hammonds in fifth. And I'm curious of when they're going to come on pit road. They're taking a long haul here. And I did do a little bit of research here, folks, since we're at Rockingham. They have done some key road renovations, so this is good news. And what I was talking about, so the key bypass, which is I-73, 74, is now a 4-lane medium. So that's good because, like I say, back when I was doing it, was 2-lane, and that's something I think they needed, and probably was a deciding factor on bringing some of the races back to that area. Being that this area, Rockingham's not known, it's no Charlotte, definitely. It's, so economically wise, it's kind of just out in the middle of nowhere and really secluded. So good to see, man, that they have done some changes to get prepared for the amount of traffic and business it's going to bring into that area come, towards the end of next year. Obviously, a lot of the great racing, because we just heard the news, IHRA bought the track, the Speedway. And I'm not sure who owns the drag strip, although IHRA does sanction races there. And NHRA is coming back to the drag strip there also. They have not raced at that track in years themselves. So very good things are coming for the Rockingham area, both tracks in general, to see, and a lot of great things. It puts North Carolina back on the map because that puts us back as the only state with 3 tracks. Tell Tucker not to loop it. He won't win at that. Well, that is true. He's got new tires right now. Unfortunately, a lap down, but that's because he took a green flag stop. He's sitting there in 8th, just probably biding his time. Now, I'm kind of curious here, Wes, though. He pitted at 99 along with, well, obviously we know why Sanchez did, because he didn't pit at all, so he went on 100 laps. How far can Carr and them go? I mean, if they go 100 laps, then that means Tucker wasn't able to go. Is he able to go with his setup 100 laps and be comfortable with it?
Well, you don't have to go 100 laps. You only got to go about 50 for a set of tires to go evenly across.
Cars win a lot. But the reason I bring that up is because our top 7 have went. We've almost won another 100 laps. What's that going to do with the strategy? That's basically what I'm trying to get at here. I mean, I know what you're saying. You don't have to do it, but what's that going to do with the strategy with guys who are like, well, I'm playing the 50-lap game?
Gonna make strategy a lot more, because then they're gonna have to do a lot more driving through the field, which is gonna be interesting. Yeah. No doubt about that. But just about coming in 50, you're gonna have fresher tires more often, which is gonna allow you to run a lot faster more often. But I don't think that's gonna make up for having double the pit stops.
And you bring that up, and we're seeing Carr up front. His last lap was a 24.94 to Tucker, who has the first of those tires. Just ran a 46, so roughly about a half a second. The problem is he's 36 seconds back. And I'm with you. Does the half second, because we've seen the fall off here to me, from what I've seen, the fall off's kind of drastic. So that half second's going to maintain. So 13, so that half second's not going to maintain with being 35 seconds back. At what point that the gap, the benefits of doing those pits is basically what we're going to have to see how it plays out. Undercuts and overcuts can change the output. Absolutely, that's kind of what I'm trying to get out. I don't know if I'm getting it out right or not, but I'm trying to get it out as yes, I'm seeing these guys on these different pits. You see Carr out there still. He pitted at lap 28 and still going and going and going, and not that far off the pace from guys who have just pitted. And the problem and good news, bad news to that is, obviously the bad news is he's not as fast, but the good news is he still has 40-some second leads with those guys, obviously being a lap down. It takes 20-some seconds to go around the track. If we get down to a 30 lap, 40 laps to go, even a 50 lap, I'm going to say, those guys in the back, if they get in this situation again, can they get out of it? I don't think they can. Not with being 40 seconds back, 36 seconds back.
I don't think that advantage is going to break. It's a lot of time to run down with brand new tires. So
yeah,
I see where the plan could be. Coming in more often, you get fresher tires, able to run faster. But you lose a lot more time on pit road, I believe.
Yeah. And obviously caution come into the mix too, man. Could definitely mix up his whole plan. I'm with Dave out there too. Hope this thing goes green, throughout the whole entire race, because I'd love to see which strategy does actually pay off, because we have a lot of different strategies. Obviously the top, the top five right now, Hyatt just went lap down, but even the top five right now have not pitted. Tucker's 34 seconds back, still a lap down in sixth place behind Carr. Carr ran a 25.13 to a 24.49, still maintaining about a half second, a little bit more. That time was a 24.68. Excuse me. So there again, that half second's closing down. And now we see him on pit road. So from lap 23. The lap 20, he went well over 100 laps. If that's the case here, then just by going off what he just did here, and this thing goes green. Because if it don't, then obviously we throw out the notebook out the window. He's looking for one. He's looking for one more pit stop, because then he can go the whole entire way. Because he's not looking to pit again until like what, 226. Somewhere in that area?
Somewhere around there, 2:30.
And if he does that and he gets another 30, he gets these guys a lap down, 30-some seconds or so, I don't feel like they're going to catch him. I'm curious now to what this strategy and how this strategy is going to pay out. But if you are Tucker and you are Sanchez and you see what Carr and them just did, do you now maybe stretch this pit stop, knowing that you can go 100 laps? Do you stretch it? Because we did see their car fall off pretty quickly on that last run.
Sanchez, I think he's going to try to stretch it, because he did that with his first set. Granted, he had the little bit of a buffer with the caution. But I think Sanchez, he's going to stretch it as long as he feels his car can take it. Which, given maybe go to about 200 or so. And then I'll probably see him back in. Tucker, like we said, he went around about 76, 75 laps before he came in, so not quite half the time. He maybe it might have just been that he used up those tires early and he knew it to where his car was going to fall off greatly, so go ahead, take the chance, come down pit road when he saw Sanchez was going to do so. But he might try to start stretching it here now that he's got some clean air in front of him.
Yeah. Remember, Greg Carr came on pit road. He did not go a lap down, obviously, because everyone else was a lap down at the time. That's another thing to think about. He just did a green flag stop. Didn't go a lap down like the other ones did. He's only 9.65 seconds back behind Tucker. I mean, this could be the play. I mean, I solidly went 27 laps longer, and then even Shane Clore, he went 26 laps. Now Hammond's right there in front of him. Is the only other one who pitted on lap 111. Carr, Greg, and Alex, I think, have the strategy right now. If I had to, put out what I'm seeing so far, unless just something drastically changes. And then obviously look at, and Phillips. Phillips pitted on lap 126 also. And he's a little bit marred back in traffic, but he's not that far off the pace. We've seen how good he's been all night too.
That's why I love green flag. That's strategy that comes in. That's why I love seeing them. And it's a whole lot of mind games. A whole lot. Oh my God. A whole lot of mind games and a whole lot of strategy and math. So definitely going to be interesting. Like Dave said, I want to see this run green to the end to see who's got it.
Yeah,
and as you said as well, caution comes out, throw the clipboard away.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm with y'all too. I mean, I want to see it now because I'm interested to see how this strategy is going to play out. Because by just looking at it and looking at the numbers, both the Carr and maybe Phillips has the right strategy, and Tucker is Sanchez. Now Sanchez, he fooled us and he did go a long way. Tucker and Clore, it's all going to depend on how that setup he's got is going to be handling now. You can see Greg Carr has actually taken over Hammonds there for the fourth place spot. I mean, he's actually closed on that. I mean, it was a little over 9-second gap. Now it's down to 7.5. So he is coming. I mean, his last lap was a 24.18 to a 58. So now he's running almost a half a second faster than Tucker. Wow. Strategy playing out here. 2026 already, I tell you. Checking off great here, Spartan Sim Racing League Master Series. And tonight, folks, we're celebrating the life here of Greg Biffle. And, not familiar with who Greg Biffle is, a longtime racer, Jack Rouse Racing, through the 2000s, early 90s, but mostly through the 2000s. Raced with Jack Rouse. A lot of the paint schemes you've seen out here are tribute paint schemes that he ran throughout his career. Most notably the 3M car, the Gander car out there. We spoke about a lot of them. But I mean, the man, he did a lot of stuff all, on the track and off the track. I mean, on the track, man, was fierce out there. Had a lot of great finishes, a lot of great wins throughout his career. But when he finally, man, hung it up, it's like Wes was talking about, a great humanitarian. Helped a lot of people, man, during the hurricanes here in North Carolina. Helped a lot of, great people. It's just a tragedy, a plane wreck. Him and his family, perished in a plane wreck right before Christmas. So just one of those tragedies you hate to see. But, definitely out here tonight celebrating him. And we'll try to keep on the spirit of him throughout the season here, too. We'll never forget, it's like a lot of great racers in the past. We've seen them come and go. You don't forget. You keep going, man. You race in your memory, and that's what we're trying to do here, Spartan Sim Racing League. And tonight we're watching some great racing, some great strategy play out here. I think Sanchez actually has taken the lead over from Tucker. Wow. I don't know if Tucker's got the right. I don't know how his setup is hanging up here tonight. I mean, who's the one that's out there that's always rooting for him?
You got Chastity, Tucker.
Yeah. How's he feeling out there, Chastity? Well, Chastity's in the same house. So what is he saying anything, Chastity? Is he like yelling or anything? I don't know if he streams. Does he stream?
I know he's got a Twitch that he said he might be starting to stream on more regularly, but I haven't seen anything from it.
Okay. I know some of the guys out here, I know you keep up with them, and I guess I could ask you too, man, by you doing that, have you heard any rumblings from some of those guys on how the setup is, how the track is, how the tire wear is, or anything like that?
I haven't seen any of the guys' live notification pop up today. Some of the main ones I go through are Grootsmacher, who we didn't see, and then also I'm forgetting the name.
Well, I know Jenningsman, he didn't go.
Yeah. Forgot a name of one of the guys that I follow through a lot.
Giving info, just watch.
Okay.
Okay, so you give us. Okay, Drew. Drew said he's giving us info. So what kind of info can you give us? I mean, what are the? My biggest one. He's quiet. Okay, that's what Chastity said. He's quiet. Well, he's concentrating. We'll give it to him. My interest is going to be on how is the tire wear out here? How is the from what I see on track? And this is just me, Wes. Maybe you're seeing something a little bit different. I am seeing a fall off from these newer tires. You know, just noticeably here. I mean, you can see Carr. His last lap was he just ran 33. It was a 40. Not a lot of consistency going on though throughout. Within probably about a tenth, half a tenth between each lap. But I am seeing some fall off on those tires. So we go back to we talked about that. This is a pretty harsh track on tires.
Yeah, I'm seeing that with you as well.
Tucker must be listening to us because he said, "Okay, I woke up. I'm gonna take the lead back."
I think he's definitely kind of quieted down a little bit to where he's not driving too hard. So probably looking to try to hit that 100 lap mark, I'd guess.
Well, he was racing hard. I'm sorry about that, Wes, but he was racing hard there earlier and, had to pit a little bit earlier. And I'm with you. I think he's kind of, going to play a little bit more patient game this time.
And we said that at the start of the race. Patience is probably going to be the key to win.
Sanchez definitely has patience out there. He ran a very long time. He stayed out from the beginning of the race to pitting around 199. You see Carr right now. That's the one we're interested in watching, who really, really stretched us 126 laps. He didn't go 126 laps. He went actually about 100 laps, theoretically, because he pitted around 23. So he went about the same distance that Sanchez did. The only difference I would say is Sanchez, like you said, benefited a little bit from the caution laps, as where Carr did it straight 100 laps, all green.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at as the difference as well. Again, just going to be interesting to watch with strategy. I hope the caution doesn't come out to make us throw away the clipboard.
Yeah, right now, the guys are just being patient, but you never know with a track like this here. Everybody's probably out there going, what are y'all talking about? These guys look like they're pretty stable. And for the most part, they are. But this is a tricky track. With the bumps the way they are, it does not take much to unsettle one of these cars coming out of the turn, kick it sideways, go to the wall. We saw it earlier on, actually one of our first cautions. So, but even so, great racing here. You see Carr, he's trying to work over Clore on that inside. I'm curious to see whether or not Carr is good on the high lane as it is on the low. We know, remember Phillips earlier, that car was hooked up low and high. We've not heard much from Phillips since then. Seems like it's kind of just neutralized a little bit back to around 9th place spot. Just watching Greg, trying to see where he works better.
Stuck up behind lap traffic of Latham as well. Latham might just give it to him here, not quite driving it in as much.
Yeah, Latham got called a lap down, unfortunately, back there in 14th place spot. He did pit on lap 125. The car's just falling off the pace, though, for a car that pitted just at lap 125. Yeah, setup, he just went way wrong on it. I'm not picking no more because it seems like our picks, man, ain't doing well.
I'm with you. I don't think I want to pick anyone again.
I always try it. I always say, okay, yeah, we'll see if we can. Obviously, I don't really have any favorites out here. I hope all the drivers are really good. But I said Jose, and he's back here in 17th. You said Latham. And
I said Gardner.
You just said, oh, okay. Well, he's actually back in 10th, so I mean, either way. We had somebody out there said Latham. He's back in 14th. So
David did.
So it seems like we just, I don't know, the broadcast curse on him.
And it tends to go that way for the most part.
Yeah. When we picking Tucker. Chassis out there going, leave him alone. Well, right there's what we're talking about. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the cars look stable, but then all of a sudden, boom, they can step out and look at this. Alex's car got around Greg. I'm not sure. Maybe Greg might have hiccuped just a little bit. Two guys, man, right there. Are they related?
I'm pretty sure we asked him, but I could not remember his answer.
Me either. My mind's about as long as a tin can.
I got the memory of a goldfish.
Yeah, there you go. Sounds good. Goldfish. Sanchez, though, what? I'm impressed. He made the right call, staying out like he did. I thought at first, as much as I thought maybe tires would be beneficial here, that it might not pan out or play out. That's played out well for him, and it's got him up here. He's right there on the back door of Tucker in second place. And they've got a pretty good lead, man, over Clore, 2 seconds right now. Carr's been able to bring that lead down to 3 seconds, but it's neutralized. Remember I was talking about tires? His last lap was a 55 to their 76. So where he was a half a second, maybe a little more quicker, now he's down to, look at that lap, but now he's down into that 3 to 4/10 range. Keep banging the wall like that, though, he's going to be up there. Lap 99, 160. Floor hanging third. Been Tucker out front leading. Who's going to get our first win here in 2026? Is he going to be able to pull it off? Sanchez along with him right there. Bruce says the art of undercuts. I'm not quite sure what you mean on that one. Talking about Sanchez undercutting, like as far as staying out. Follow what he's saying out there with?
The art of undercut, coming in before all your other competition to get fresher tires sooner to get a little bit more speed increase. That's what I'm assuming he's talking about.
Okay. But see, here's the thing. We were just long conversation with that earlier. At what point does that the benefit stops? You see, that's where we're wanting to see where this plays out at, because from the numbers we saw earlier, the undercut guys are definitely under a lot. They're just not going to be able to make up the time and the ground that's going to be needed by the time the guys up there that do pit. So, from what I'm seeing right now, with it being 2.4 seconds from Alex Carr and Greg Carr, we both pitted in lap 26. If it falls back to the way it did before, with Tucker and Sanchez and all, unless Tucker's planning to take this thing way long, and he could be, and they get back out there, that lead that they did again, it's going to take a caution for Tucker and them to get up. I think Sanchez is the only one up there might be able to play this long game. And then Tucker could fool us. Don't count Shane Clore out. He pitted at lap 100. When you talk about that out there, the undercut, by the way, I'm watching the lap times. It's a 67 to a Well, Sanchez a 92 or 01 or 63 of Clore. Car right there had about a little bit of the car, so he slowed down way and actually lost a lot of time that time there. But even Alex's car with an 82, they're down to the 2.5, 3/10 mark, where they were well over a half second. And you know, Wes, that's definitely going to play in. See Boyle's coming down on pit road now, so we do got some pit stop takers here. And we're getting close to where Tucker made his pit stop last time. What's he going to do?
I want to see him stay out this time around. Keep it out on track, run long. Because if he comes in again already, he's for sure got to make one, maybe two more stops based on his cycle. Yeah. Staying out, he's only probably got to do the one more afterwards, which is what I'd like to see. Sanchez, I think he's going to try to push it to where this is going to be his last stop. This is what I'm thinking. He's going to try to push it to be his last stop.
Now, the question comes in, green, white, check, if that happens. Because that would put Tucker and Sanchez close, as opposed to Carr and those not so close.
Okay, Drew said, so what you're seeing now is how the field will look coming into the final 10 laps.
Oh, so you think Tucker and Sanchez are, well, no, I don't see it. If it stays green like it is, there's no way Tucker and Sanchez, if they stay on the same pit cycle, I want to say the cars are going to be the one that stays out. I don't know. It'll be interesting. It's you see actually Sanchez right now. He's right on board with Sanchez because he's actually backing up.
He's backing up. He's falling to third. He's got car pressure, both cars rather, pressuring him for fourth and fifth. Yes. As Greg's going to go to his inside here through 3 and 4.
The problem is we're not really going to tell a lot if they're saving fuel because that RPM drops so low anyways in these things. Yeah, the RPMs drop. I mean, all these cars you see, the RPMs drop substantially.
It's not like what we saw where we saw drivers cutting it off through turns.
Yeah. Here you pretty much are you're about all the way off the throttle anyways. It's just a matter of how long. Like right there now, car, that might be the only indicator of how long you're off that throttle. As you can see right here, he's in the turn. Almost all the way through the turn. Let's watch Tucker. He's off the turn.
He's on throttle, just a little bit, maybe sooner.
Yeah, they're about the same there. You can see that car getting a little tight though. That last time he was a little bit tighter. And none of the thing is he's running fourth gear. Now we had this conversation a couple races ago, and you know it really is fighting that thing too. Yeah, she's ill handling. Yeah, she's
definitely caught that one.
Yeah, that tells me right there he's close to coming on pit road because that thing is ill handling. It's not liking something.
And I've also learned from Tucker as well, just the way he has his wheel set up, that's why you're seeing it jittering so much. Because it's just the way his wheel's set up. It's not the car, it's just his wheel.
But you see the car moving.
You see the car moving, but just even if he's not moving the car, his wheel does jitter like that.
Well, yeah. Now I'm talking about how the car's kicking sideways. It tells you that thing is loose. Yeah, it tells you it's right there, that little contact.
Right there.
yeah, it's a contact. Whoever's inside him, I think that's actually maybe Greg Carr right there inside him. But yeah, he's fighting a little bit. But, you know, Tucker sometimes has been known to want to have a little, looser style car, drive it. Some guys like it that way. Yeah, just gonna be interesting to see. But he is falling off that pace, and we saw this earlier, right before he took his pit stop. We saw that car just kind of start falling off, and he finally took the pit stop and went on. I don't know. I'm still going to stick with right now the strategy, I think, is Greg Carr, Alex Carr. Because even Sanchez, wow, has fallen back to 7th.
Sanchez in the top 10 ran the slowest lap, 25 triple fives.
And again, not seeing anything different. I mean, he could be a little bit off throttle a lot longer than the guys. Maybe right there. He was a little, I was a little easy going into the turn there. I mean, from what I can see, that throttle control, he is very easily off of it early and back onto it a little bit late. From what I'm just seeing, it's like he's way off of it before he gets into that turn. Watch. Yeah, he's way off of it there. A little bit earlier right there. So, yeah, he could be saving a little bit. Problem is he's losing ground. A lot of ground. And he's going to have to say, I mean, we're only at lap 182. In order for him to go one more stop, he's got to go another 15 laps at least.
I'd say a full 20.
Yeah.
Just on the safe side, a full 20.
Yeah. Pretty rigid. Yeah, so, and just by him and Tucker, the way the cars are falling off, wow. I don't know. Clore's only one up here, man. It's been over the. Seems like he's not falling off the pace too much. And you see Greg and Alex still right there behind him. Strategy. This is what makes your head hurt as a crewman.
Tell you, I don't want to be the guy on top of the box sitting there crunching numbers all night.
Yeah, no doubt. Trying to figure out what's going to happen here. Get down to closing laps here. So we got Clore, Carr, and Carr. That's Greg and Alex Carr. Tucker is falling back to 4th. Hammond's there in the 5th. Omacheski's still hanging strong there in 6th. Sanchez there in 7th. Phillips back in the 8th. Zozak hanging on to 9th. We've got Bender around to the top 10. How long does Clore stay out? He pitted at lap, 100. Just by going off that, he went a solid 100 laps. Although they benefited from that 100-lap pit stop, benefited from that caution, where the two that actually came in during the caution was the car guys back here, Alex and Greg. They pitted a lap to 126. They actually pitted the 4 tires on that caution, along with Phillips too. Phillips just wasn't able to get up to the front close enough. And he's not bad off. He's 9 seconds back. I just got to run another machine there, Sanchez. Just being 9 seconds back is one of the things hurt him. I think if anybody out of that pack's looking for a caution, Phillips might be the one. Tucker might be too.
I think some of these guys might love a caution, not just Phillips, Tucker, Sanchez. They'd probably love one.
Yeah.
Zozak even pitting at lap 101. I don't think any of these guys would be too upset with a caution, I'd say.
But we don't want one. We want to go green. No Greg and Alex up there probably going, we need to go green. And for the most part, this thing has been a great race. I mean, they one caution early on. Ben green flag the rest of the way here tonight. Spartan Sim Racing League, first race of 2026 here for the Master Series. Doing Greg Biffle Memorial race here tonight for these guys, for the guys, and it's all Clore out front with both of the car guys right behind him, Alex and Greg. Second, third, we're setting it up here for when are we going to take those green flag stops. And folks, it's been a solid race all night long, and we've had such long green flags runs. Hopefully we don't have a caution here, but We're going to step away, take a quick break here, and we'll be right back. And we'll bring you, man, this exciting action, man. It's been on the track all night long.
And then if you want to, just a little bit about how the foundation helped you.
I was in a pretty serious deal, as most people know about. It's a pretty tough deal, very traumatic for my family. A lot of stuff that we went through that people would never understand. Without the assistance from the Steve King Foundation and several other donors as well, we could have come out of that thing in financial ruin. But it just takes a lot out of your family just to go through rehabilitation, all the medical bills. There's so many hidden expenses and stuff that you would never know about until you actually get involved in something like that. And and even if you help somebody out with 500 or 1,000 or 100, whatever it is, it means a ton to the person, just to be able to live and to get through these things. It takes an ungodly amount of money, time, effort, patience, with the families, the doctors, to be able to get through a traumatic experience. And, with the Steve King Foundation, that makes everything a lot better.
Hi, I'm Blaine Smith, the Executive Director of Team Red, White, and Blue, and I wanted to take a minute just to welcome you on board and let you know that we're proud to have you as a new member of our team. This short video is a way for us to give you an idea of what you can expect from your experience at Team Red, White, and Blue, and also what we expect from you in return. Something that's really, really important to the fabric of our organization is our Eagle ethos. It's just 6 words, but they mean a lot to us, and they guide us in all we do. Those 6 words: passion, positivity, people, commitment, camaraderie, and community are more than just organizational values. They're what we're all about and what we strive to work for in all of our programs and in every single one of our interactions. The next thing I want you to know is that we are an inclusive organization by design. We're open to veterans of all eras, of all ages, branches of service, combat experience, as well as active duty service members, their families, their friends, and just supportive members of the community that come out and take part in our mission. Every single person is important to what we do. All are welcome, and we look forward to seeing you all out there.
All right, folks, we're back here live, and looks like we got some green flag stops. It was right there on the break, and just like we were talking about before, Carr, Alex, and Greg both out front. And it looks like Tucker did make his stop around 2:01, maybe a lap or so longer than what he had before. And now we'll see how this thing plays out. Wes, you back here?
Yeah, I'm back. Kind of what we saw from Greg and Alex Carr after their first long green flag run, about 103 laps before Tucker came down.
Yep.
So Tucker probably could go to the end here. He just had that one stop. You're going to have to look for Greg and Alex now, hypothetically coming around lap 130 to 140.
And again,
Or 230 to 240.
yeah, and again, it's all going to depend on how far out Tucker gets on Carr and them when they make their pit stop. And can Alex and them come through? Because you saw Greg and them catch Tucker the last time before the end of it. And again, well, I mean, we still got the same numbers, 47 seconds back. Kluwer made his pit stop. He's around about 43 back. I don't know. Oh, it's going to be interesting.
Green flag stops, long green flag runs always bring something crazy to go on, and both in real life and now we're seeing it here on track through the Spartan Sim Racing League Master Series. So who knows what's going to happen? Is there going to be just a mysterious caution, or somebody spins out coming off a corner that makes us throw everything away and go back to the drawing board?
Yeah, we talked about the times between it. The last lap was an 83 to an 04. That's a good solid 8/10, we'll say, give or take there between what Tucker is running to Carr, which is pretty much should be about dead on, because you're talking about almost 80-some laps difference in tires. Going to be close to about 100 lap difference in tires. So it should be a substantial amount. It's all about the fall off that I'm looking at. What's that fall off going to be there? That's the one I'm kind of curious to see. How fast does these tires fall off? Obviously, we know Carr and them's going to fall off up there or maintain where they are. But what about Tucker, Kluwer, and them? How fast do those tires fall off? Can they maintain? And we've seen Tucker there at the end of his run. That car seems to start getting really ill handling. We've seen it twice now. What kind of adjustments did he make this time to maybe help that car go throughout this run?
I think after that first green flag stop, well, everybody's got their adjustments settled, maybe some minor tweaks. I don't think they're going to be too drastic with it. They don't want to ruin what they got.
Okay. Remember, I just said an 04 was the last time. Well, this last time was a 71 to a 29 to an 18. That's the one thing I am seeing at this track. Until the tires do start to wear a lot of inconsistency on a newer set of tires. We just saw right there, Tucker just ran an 18 and ran a 20-some before, an 04 before that. There's not really a lot of consistency between with the newer, as opposed to when they get a little bit wear, then you start seeing like cars ran in the 70s pretty much the last couple of laps now. Now that time he really fell off, but around about a 90. So, yeah, it's tough when you can't maintain consistency either.
And I want to throw that up, just the Rock being the Rock. It's not the smoothest ride the whole way through.
And I'll agree with you. That is absolutely. A lot of times we see tracks, man, they're just dead on consistent after consistent. Really hard to make up ground. Here, that's how you make up ground, because you never know what lap after lap you're going to get. And you're right. Rockingham, so unpredictable, really, bouncy. style track. We talked about that, but one of the first guys up there, Kolmacheski, to take a pit stop, who pitted around lap 126. The top 3 guys have yet to pit. The only one that I say right now is probably wishing he was a little bit closer is probably Phillips right now. He pitted on that lap 126. Can go as long as Carr and them up front. The problem is he's around 11 to 13 seconds back from them, and that kind of hinders him. Now we see Carr. They're on pit road. So they went about 10 laps less this time.
It might be they're not wanting Tucker to have that much of an undercut on him. They saw last time around he was able to get a pretty decent gap, so they want him just a little bit closer while still knowing, hey, we can make it all the way to the end, even run green, white checkers if needed.
On pit road, 4 tires, fuel. So it'll be their money stop here. I always talk about, mental mistakes. Obviously on oval racing pit stops, a lot of them won and lost on pit road so many times. And we're going to see right now, car coming off pit road. You're going to see Tucker and them come around. And Tucker's not going to get that far ahead. The one that is actually Timothy Latham. He's yet to pit. So those top 2 guys have yet to pit. They're going to have to pit, but Tucker didn't get. He got about a second and a half this time ahead. So we'll see what the difference is here, though. Can Carr make up that ground?
And to be honest with you, I think he will. There's only 15 lap difference in the tires, so there's going to be a lot quicker stabilization between the 2 cars. At that point, it just comes down to driver skill and overall car handling.
Yeah, and I'll go back to you can see Carr right
Carr
now.
looking to make it
yeah,
through.
when he got over, who got loose? Who was that?
Oh, Cole Gardner. I think he went fully around. Yes, he did.
Yeah, that might bring out the caution. Who was that? Gardner?
Yep.
Oh, we stayed green. Wow. How did we stay green on that one? Go back and watch it again.
I think he kept it off the track below that yellow line. So
it's not as it wasn't as violent as the first. The other one, he spun all the way around. I thought that he did. And just yeah, I think it was because the car kind of stayed straight. So we stayed green. Oh, that was a now that would have, that's what Phillips wanted. Phillips would have been like, he'd been jumping up and down. Heck yeah. But they have yet to make a pit stop.
Both would have loved it.
Yeah, they both not made a pit stop. Look at this. We talked about Carr. Yeah, that's what I was about to say before we saw the one car there, Gardner, going around is Tucker, his car seems to start just getting loose on him later in the run. But right now, Greg Carr's on a mission. And I think his mission is one, get back on that lead lap, and he has. A lot of these guys have up front. See, Carr, Latham, and Tucker. But two, is to get in front of Tucker and use those tires, maybe just ride now that he knows he's on the lead lap. And he knows Phillips and all them are going to have to pit. So he's out of the danger zone, so to speak.
Out of the danger zones within the lead lap, I think.
And Tucker, I don't know who's doing the wrenching on it tonight, but they have just. He's had a fast car. Don't get me wrong. He's had a very competitive fast car. It just seems like something has been off on that setup, as opposed to like Carr, Phillips, and those.
I agree with you. Just not the stability you see out of the 36 and the 24, but still always fast. Oh, yeah. Always a wild show given by them.
Yeah,
I agree. Yeah. I think something's just a little bit off, not quite stabilized like we've seen some of the others.
Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking. Right now, he's really in a hole because his whole deal of short pitting would be to put car behind him long enough and to get out there in the front. But Greg actually switching it up a little bit, pitting early like he did, kind of put a little dent in that plan, so to speak. So now it's got Tucker behind him. And, you know, we go back to not wanting a caution and going green. I think now Tucker's probably going, yeah, I want that caution now. Obviously Phillips would love it, but, you know, yeah, I think now Tucker would. I think Carr's probably about the only one up there. Him and Alex probably the only two up there probably going, I don't want one. Not to say their car still probably wouldn't be fast even if there was a caution.
Yeah, I'm talking about those that hadn't pit yet. Latham, he's finally in for his third and probably final stop. Phillips again, though, he's the one that's still riding around. He's gone over 100 laps for his run. He might be looking to dive on in here next couple of laps.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting of how far that puts him back. Phillips, that is. We know he has a very fast machine, a very stable setup here tonight. It'll be interesting to see what happens once he does come on pit road. Looking good, but car's only like 19 seconds back from him there. Tucker right behind him. Now he's on pit road now. I think we're still too far off. He couldn't do 2 tires. There's no way. Gonna have to go with that 4-tire stop. Him and the wee man. Tires. It was amazing. You know, we always see those guys, and even in real racing, when they come off pit road, they spin the tires. There's actually a little bit of, I don't like a better word, mechanical science behind that, folks. Those tires are so sticky that if they were just to slowly take off, it could actually break an axle up in the transmission. We've seen it before on pit road. But they try to spin them so that it doesn't grip coming off right off the bat. So that's kind of a little something, because you would think, well, why are they spinning the tires off there? Now they're tearing all their tire wear off. You know, they're using up the tire. Why don't they just take off slow? Because if that thing actually catches when they drop that jack, it actually could catch so much with so much horsepower that they got. It can actually snap an axle right off. It's just such a brute force thing. So a little bit of trivia thrown out there too on why, if you've ever wondered why are they spinning the heck out of the wheels coming off, and they're just tearing up their tire wear. It really doesn't chew up that much tire wear from the spin. So we got a car around there. That's balls. He just came in pit road. Wow. What happened here? Fall asleep, Wes?
Just a little bit. I was replying to a message I had gotten, so.
Okay. Let's watch what happened to Bulls here. He just came on pit road with Phillips. He was on new tires. Did the Rockingham bite him? Sure did.
The Rockingham bit him. Just got a little unhappy over one of those bumps.
Man, he's got damage too. He hurt the front nose of that car. It's going to hurt the steering a little bit. Okay. Well, let's Drew, what are you thinking now? I know you said how it was going to be. Look before how it's going to be the last 10 laps, but I don't know. Car's got out front. Tucker's behind him. What are you thinking now? What are you thinking, Wes?
I know Tucker, we talked about not wanting to use up his tire life early, but Greg Carr's kind of pulled away. I don't know if he's running hard or if this is just Tucker making sure he's got tire life at the end, but near on 5-second gap between the two, something's gonna have to change. That 8's gonna have to go hunting eventually, I think.
I'm with you. Totally with you on that one. I don't see an undercut. I don't see what that's going to benefit Tucker at all. If he comes on pit road, and let's see what you think on this, Wes. If Tucker comes on pit road any time from now to the end, he'll be way too far behind. From what we've seen, the amount of benefit that you get out of the tires won't play. I mean, if this thing goes green, that is. Now, if a caution was to come out, but with what, 60 laps to go, if he was to pit, let's say now, me personally, I don't think it is. What do you think, Wes?
I think he's talking about that. I don't know. I think Drew, he might say they're all going to go in one more time. I'm not sure on that.
Car's
but
not.
I think all these guys are going to run out to the end unless there's something that everybody's thinking about.
Yeah.
I don't think there's another pit stop to be had as Alex Carr is looking to get around Tucker now for second.
I would hard pressed to see Greg Carr and Alex Carr pitting again. I would be very shocked. No, Greg undercuts off his original pit plan to prevent
Okay, he's talking about that last pit stop around why the cars came in. So Tucker loose off of 2. Yeah. He's talking about why Greg and Alex came in so shortly or earlier than what we expected.
Okay, yeah, that did make sense, and that's what we saw too, up here, and I think that was a great plan by both Greg and Alex to both come on pit road, short pit so to speak, than what they did last time by about 10 laps. To cut some into that, because it seems like the more the laps go on, the worse that Tucker's car's being all night long. I mean, he's still fast, don't get me wrong. He's still got a very, very good car, but it just seems it gets unstable up front.
Nobody's pitting either. Okay.
Yeah, nobody's pitting. Well, we do got some pit stops going on in the back, but it's a lot of lap cars that are pitting. I really don't have anything to lose or gain. Well, they got some things to gain if we get back on the lead lap, but. Or maybe they're battling position for some of the lap cars back there in the back. Because, I mean, the first car lap down is Joe Bender, who was sitting right here at 8. Timothy Latham hasn't been able to move back up to 9th there. Zozak in the 10, Jorgensen up there in the 9th. Yeah, just like we're seeing right here, you've got Alex Carr battling hard with Tucker. From what I have seen, Tucker's car, unfortunately, as the run goes on, it just kind of falls off. And I don't know, and you actually see Hammond's right. You can see, I know earlier you were talking about there, Wes. Well, that's just how his wheel is. Yeah, the problem is that's not how his car's supposed to be going.
Yeah, I know that major wiggle off corner. Yeah, that's not how it's supposed to be. But I was just talking about the minor shakes going down the stretch.
Yeah, that one he probably don't buy, but that rear end coming out from under him, he's probably going, wait a minute, I don't want that one. That's definitely not one I want to see. No driver wants to see the rear end coming through the front side of your mirror. So, but he's hanging on for dear life right there, and he's got Hammonds and Carr.
Oh,
that's what he wants to battle. A good battle, but the man that's loving it, Greg Carr. I think he can just walk away.
Walking away, 6.5 second gap to these 3 right here behind him. As Hammonds, he gets around Alex Carr for 3rd place. Bounced off the wall on the exit of 2 pretty hard, though, a couple laps ago.
Oh,
and there
right
he goes
there
again.
Man, he keeps doing that. It's going to pancake that one side. Could hurt the steering, knock the toe out. Used to, the cars would be real bad. It would knock the track bar out. These cars, obviously, independent suspension. That's one of the major changes that was changed with the newer cars, but actually he did hurt that thing a little bit, I think, on that right front. Yeah, he could be getting tight.
Got some damage.
Yeah, it looks like it's getting tight too, a little bit harder to turn in. But yeah, I know back in the day, you knock the track bar and you can knock that whole rear end kind of all the way sideways and push it out to the far left side. And definitely, you still can knock the toe out in front and whatnot here. So yeah, you've got damage falling off. Shane Clore, though, still about 2.5 seconds back from him. See the lap cars going around him. Meanwhile, I saw Alex Carr there in second with Greg Carr out front. He's got a 6-second lead, and we were talking before, is he running the car hard? He ran a 45 the last time to a 61 at Tucker. I don't know. Does he just get some trouble? Car's just on setting sail. Well, Phillips now, he pitted right there along with those guys, unfortunately 20-some seconds back. I mean, obviously a caution would help him. A caution would help everyone up here, but we want to see it go green. I want to see how this strategy is playing out. And it's kind of playing out like what we've been talking. I mean, at this point, if you're Tucker,
Hang on.
yeah, well, but do you? I mean, as a driver, you really never want to say it's over, or what do I do? But at what point is he going? Okay, let me just hang on to what I got here. I don't know if I got enough to catch Carr up front.
I see what you're talking about. You saying it's over is basically giving up, and that's
Right.
not what a driver is about.
No.
So I would say at this point, don't focus on trying to go and win. As Sanchez there, a little blink and blink. Tucker, don't focus on trying to go run down to Greg Carr. I'd focus on maintaining second spot. Still very good points finish. And he's even gotten himself a little bit of a buffer, almost 6/10, almost 7/10 over Alex Carr in third.
Yeah.
Just hang on to your car and keep position. Don't worry about someone so far up ahead of you right now.
Yeah, because the worst thing you can do is overdrive the thing and then lose way more positions than what you're sitting at right now. And as a driver, that is a tough thing to do mentally, because your mental is, hey, I want to win. I want to get up front. I want to be the fastest car. But at some point, you have to sit back and go, okay, this is the cards I've been dealt. This is what I got. And right now, Greg up front, I mean, he's got the ace in the hole right now. And Tucker still has a very good spot and a very good car running, but he knows it's getting loose here. And, one little false move, and, Alex Carr's back there ready to pounce and take it away from him, along with Sean Clore and company. So, I'm with you there. Definitely just maintain, see. And then maybe in the back of your mind go, I can pray for that caution, If I get that caution, then it's a whole different subject then. Because I think at that point, if a caution does fly, if one does, I think that plays in the hand of Michael Tucker, because I think Greg Carr does not want to get in a shootout with Tucker on new tires with 10 laps to go. So.
I don't think any of these boys want to get out into a shootout, because we've seen when it comes to getting into a shootout, that's when things go off the rails and you just got cars driving over top of everyone.
Yeah, true. I mean, just as look, out of the two, the Greg and Michael, do you think, man, Tucker's thinking, all right, somebody blow a tire out or something?
Tucker might be hoping for a caution just to get close and give him a shot. But in the long run, that might not be the best thing, because he might get collected in something when everybody's so aggressive on a restart.
Oh, yeah. You never know. It's 50-50 gamble. Flip the coin there. Right now, we got the top 7 on the lead lap. Phillips is the last man on the lead lap, and he's had an up-and-down race, had a very fast machine. I think he's had probably one of the most consistent machines out here. Bad luck there early on. Got him, back behind the 8 ball a little bit in a hole. been able to try to climb out of it. Hanging on right there in the 7th place spot. Obviously, we're talking about Greg Carr, Michael Tucker up front, Alex Carr there in 3rd, Shane Clore in 4th. Omacheski having another good run here tonight, man, along with Alexander Hammond there in 5th and 6th. What a quiet night.
Well, Hammonds we saw bouncing off the wall a couple times, so it's going to be about major conserving and getting to the end here without putting that car into the wall again. And then, like you said, Komacheski, he's had quite the quiet night, just solidly in the top 10 all race long, not really pushing his car, not really drop. We saw him drop back a little bit early on, but since then put some adjustments in. He's got, seems like it's stable throughout the whole race now.
Safe to say he's been finger looking good.
Think it'd be safe to say that.
Yeah. Man, out here got the KFC paint scheme out there, one of Greg Riffle's later style paint jobs, man, that he ran. Macheski's right there in the 5th place spot. Watch him, man. Carr extending that lead out front as Greg is. Get down to the closing lap, 266 at 300. We'll be getting down to about 30 to go. Joe Bender, though, man, back here. I know he's the first one a lap down. He's in 8th place along with Timothy Latham there in 9th. And Mark Sanchez hanging on to the 10th place spot. So good runs by those guys here, so far, just maintaining.
Yeah, and later in the race, I think everybody, early on, you say be patient so that you can kind of get into the groove. Later on, it's be patient so you keep what you get. So maintaining spots, hey, last 30 laps don't matter. So just don't make a mistake. Don't lose yourself any more than what you've already gone back.
Absolutely. Greg Carr right now, he's looking strong out front. You can see how well he's looking on the track. Went through the turns. He drove that thing in there deep that time. Way up against the wall. Carr looks pretty stable down on that bottom lane. It's about as smooth as you want to have a car.
Give up the bottom here. JP Jones, fresh off of pit road, got some new tires. Ooh, a little bit of contact.
Yeah, that's not what we want to see. It's like, look, we know you got new tires. Just go on. He overthrew the turn. All right, so I gotta ask, what paint job that would be?
I think that's just Greg Carr's.
Okay. I was gonna look at that like, I think that one's actually just Al's car. He's going up on the back of Tucker here. This guy's about to battle for 2nd place again. I'm wondering on here, obviously Tucker maintains and stays in the top 3. It'd be interesting to see. I mean, he's done well tonight, but does he like this place? Rockingham.
That's definitely a question to ask, I think. Granted, drivers, they can have their favorite tracks, and it's typically a track they do good at. They can also have their favorite style of tracks, which they do good at. So just seeing how good they've run, I'd like to say they like the track. It's one of their favorites.
Yeah. Well, and the reason I bring that up,
wiggly off too.
And that's what I was getting at, is because of how ill handling that car has been. maybe trying to find the right balance on the setup. And hard in the wall right there. That's the first time we've seen that. And that goes to back to what I was saying, is trying to find that right balance of the setup here at this track. Looks like is what Tucker's been chasing all race long. We don't want to bounce off that wall too many times.
No, we saw Hammonds. He went bouncing off the wall several times, and he's fallen back. He's down to 6th, about just in front of the leader of Greg Carr now.
Yep.
So don't want to bounce off the wall too many times.
What I'm seeing, that car is really tight right there, middle, and kind of snaps loose a little bit sometimes coming off the turn. Looks good when coming off of turn 4. It's usually about that turn 2, 1 and 2. Right there, you see the car drift up, gets tight. And coming out of 2, sometimes it has a little wiggle to him. See, cars now went up to the top side of the track with him. 23 to go. Battle for second right here. Well, Drew, is this kind of what you pictured out there? How this one was going to shape out? And I know you mentioned before how Tucker and them was going to be out front, but just by watching on those pit stops, and then again we'll go off of, I think what Greg and Alex did pitting 10 laps earlier definitely helped them this time around. You do see me, Tucker, he's bouncing off that wall there, Wes.
Yeah, it did allow Alex Carr to get to the inside, though. Not going to do anything with it for 3 and 4. Stays alive again, another lap. But does it once and keeps doing it, it's going to be tougher and tougher for him. Alex Carr, though, great run through 1 and 2.
You got to look back here, too, though. They don't keep it up. You got Shane Clore. He's only 1.5 seconds behind those two. Taking that wall like that, he'll be up there.
Yeah, at the same time, though, Shane Clores, he's got 3 cars in between these two.
Yeah, it all to be depending on how those lap cars do it. I mean, now look at his lap time, too. He ran a 46 to their 89. He's about 4/10 faster. You see cars finally going to get around him, maybe?
Not quite clear, though. Through 1 and 2, he might just have it.
Yeah, they're going to go side by side. And I'm watching Clore right here. He's actually gotten around one of those cars. He's got 2 others right in front of him. He's a lot faster than they are up there. Tucker and Carr. Alex, that is.
So Drew said this is what he kind of expected. This is the difference between paying attention and adapting in a race for the cars.
Okay. What about Clore here? Got enough time, got enough car to get it done.
He might based off of just lap time, but getting to Tucker might be a little bit difficult. Get around Tucker, I think, is going to be very difficult.
And it's all going to depend on how fast he can get around these 2 other machines, and maybe if he can get a little bit of cooperation from them, like, look, I don't have to battle y'all too much. He's obviously now, since they're not battling up there, Carr and Tucker, now the lap times are kind of evened off a little bit. Yeah, see, Clore's, he's and I think this is frustration here on Shane Clore's part. He knows, look, if I just had a clean track, I could get up there, but this here is hindering him from getting to Tucker. It's nothing that the lap cars are doing wrong. I mean, it's just they're in between them. They're just in between them.
But then 15 laps ago, he'd wish he had a clean track between him and the 8 car to go hunting a little easier.
Yeah.
But lap traffic, dirty air flying around, is going to just be a little difficult. We saw him on the inside of Medina, and then they had contact off of 2 just a little bit. I don't think there's any harm to the cars.
No. So it's the 48, 47. Yeah, they're not running for position on each other, so I mean, I guess they could give him a break if they wanted to. Because you can see right there, I mean, way faster, but probably seen all night long. You take the racing line away from someone, they have to change it. It's real hard to pass.
Medina even there up into the wall, going to slow down Clore even more because he's got to back out of it being right on the bumper.
Yeah.
Whew. There we go. Medina gave Clore the top. Clore bounced off the wall a little bit, though. Still got plenty of speed.
Yeah, he ran that thing, but might be a little bit too late here. We'll have to see. Man, out front here, though, man, Greg Carr, masterclass on pit strategies. Been able to stay out all night long. Definitely had the right setup, right game plan here. He's got a good solid 10-second lead over this man, Alex Carr. So both Carr guys up front, 1 and 2. Michael Tucker's right now hanging on to third, but he sees 0.6 tenths behind him. Is Clore. Problem is Clore is running that thing hard. He's driving. He's driving it deep into the corner. He's bouncing off the wall. That's slowly going to bring damage into where he's not going to be able to run down Tucker. He's only slightly faster by not quite a tenth. Let's see what this lap is. He went an 80 to an 04, so that's quite a bit. And Tucker's car's fading off, and that lap car right here gives him the advantage, and he might have his
cut him a break.
Yeah. That's probably what Tucker didn't want to see. Tucker's car looks like it's falling off. He's going to have to pick it up here. I mean, Clore has enough time. 5 to go. Battle for third. Catching and passing, though, we've seen all night long.
Well, he's got about 7 laps to do it. Tucker's going to go high. Clore's going to shoot the middle. He's on the inside.
Oh, little contact off the turn. We've seen that all night long. Car on the inside, get a little bit tight, have to give it in. But look at the dive, man, that Clore does. I think he's going to get him, but the drive off here for Tucker. Oh, it wiggles on him. They still stay side by side. It's a battle for third here. Clore wants it. Tucker wants to hang on to it. Around here to the closing laps. How much does Clore have on that inside? And can Tucker hang on to this thing?
Tucker hung on to it there. Clore, he got a little loose on the exit of 4. Obviously driving the wheels off it, like he said. Just trying to get to the 8. Now he's driving the wheels off of even more to get past the 8 for third place.
Yeah, you know, I've always said before, you don't have to pass him. You just got to get the nose out in front of him. That might be what he's going to have to do here because, you know, Tucker has the line that he ideally wants. Come across, it's definitely going to be 5 to go with this one here. Greg Carr out front, Alex Carr, they're walking away from it here. This is the battle for third. Michael Tucker has it. Jane Clore, he's wanting it right now. He's probably something like cooling his tires down a little bit. Riding now, he's going to look to the inside again. More to go. Trojan on the inside.
Go back
this
to
lap car here could be a factor.
It very well could. If they catch them fast enough, that dirty air is going to play a part. That's Hammond's right there in front of them.
Yeah.
7th place. Tucker's going to have it at the line there.
Hammond's, man, I'm going to tell you what, Hammond's kind of caught between a rock and a hard place right there, and I saw what he was trying to do, just get out of the way. Didn't want them to catch him in the turn. It almost cost Tucker there. because he slowed up, but still door to door here coming around, and we're going to catch the white flag, and the next time by, does Clore have enough? He can get alongside of him, but he just can't quite take that spot away from him.
That's a really good setup here. Clore's able to dime it off the corner, get to the inside of the 8, but not able to clear him through 3 and 4.
Yep.
But like you said, doesn't need to be fully in front of him, just maybe an inch or two on the spoiler.
We're going to have one more time coming around this time as Greg Carr has taken the white flag. You can see Carr now coming out of turn 4. He's going to win this one, as Alex Carr is going to come there along with it. So we're going to watch this battle coming to the lead line here. He's going to have 2 more turns. Sean Clore got enough. He drives down to the inside. We've seen this move many times at Rockingham, and the guy on the outside usually hangs on, but Sean Clore, no, does not. Wow, Tucker held on by inches at the line. We've seen that finish at Rockingham I don't know how many times in the past in real life.
I don't know. I've not really watched Rockingham race. I wasn't.
You don't remember the Ricky Craven finish? That's the famous one.
I'm only 25.
Oh, okay. Go look it up on YouTube, man. Go look on you got to.
I ain't seen the YouTube replays of it, but I'll tell you what, that's a finish to watch.
Yeah. I mean, wow. But all in all, that man right there, though, master class on how to save fuel and pit strategy here tonight. Greg Carr, he had everything, man, locked down and put it in victory lane along with Alex Carr. And I guess now we'll find out if they're actually related or not. But Tucker, boy, hanging on.
Hundredths of a second between Tucker and Clore across the line there.
Oh, see Tucker down there. You're always missing.
He's all the way at the bottom.
I see him. Okay. All right. Well, let's bring the man up here in third place, Tucker, up here. Let's get a word with him.
Tucker, it's Joe Wesley and Booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, came home third. Great battle at the end for sure. You and Shane Clore going side by side several laps, and then kind of backed it off through 1 and 2, knowing you had good runs through 3 and 4, and then dove it on inside to 500ths of a second between the two of you across the line. How was that final battle going on?
With me and Shade not having anyone as teammates this week, we just had a race 10 BC, and we were laughing the entire time. He had fun. That Shane puts up a good fight with me always. We've had 3 great battles for a spot back to back weeks. It's just, I'm glad I got it. I'm sweating. This is horrible for my hands.
Rockingham, we were talking about pre-race. It's a bumpy track, especially this older configuration. Not smooth. We saw the cars, almost seems like it was kind of hopping up and down at a nightclub nearly. Was it sickening in the car, all the bumps going across the track?
I tried my best to avoid them, so I don't know, other than like the first 10 laps where I didn't avoid them. But the bumps really did offset the car. I was fighting handling issues on exit every time I hit the bump, so the bumps really did something.
Well, another thing we talked about was the whole pit strategy and how everybody kind of had different going on. We saw Greg and Alex Carr at the first and on this long green flag run that lasted 177 or so laps, or 277, my bad. They went about 103 to year 77. We were trying to calculate if y'all stayed there about what it was going to be, but then that second stint, you went about the same 103 laps they did the first, and then just a whole bunch of calculation going on up here. That first time you came down, was it just the car fell off, you needed to make changes, that's why you came so early?
No, that's not why I came so early. I knew that with help of Drew, I knew that if we were to undercut, we would have a really big advantage. So when me and Shane went in, we had a really big advantage out. And Shane was the only one able to maintain it. I wasn't. So we just did it for advantage to undercut them.
Well, good to know. Joe, you got anything for him?
Well, with that said, there too on Tucker, we were talking about that out there on it, and taking the advantage. I mean, one, you said that your car was getting very, very loose as the run went on. We saw that. Was that just maybe a product of the setup, or just a product of one? Hey, obviously this track the way it is, or that because it seemed like your car was falling off faster than what the other ones were.
Yeah, that's just a driver issue that needs to be fixed over the next few weeks. I was struggling with the right front tire saving, even the right rear somehow.
Yeah, I know we were watching from the inside there, and Wesley was over there saying, "Well, I know that's how Tucker man wheel is always." And I said, "Well, that's not how his car is. His rear end is coming out from under some." But I know Wild Ride, awesome finish there at the end, man. I know you had fast cars all the time when you come out here. But hey, good run for you tonight. You got anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Shane, Drew. Shane put up a good fight. SSRL, these guys are amazing. You guys for broadcasting. My mom, my dad, Chastity took a realty, even though she wasn't on the car. Oh well.
She was supporting you in the chat.
Yeah, at least she was. And everyone for making this possible. It's an honor to be racing here.
Well, there you go, man. That's Michael Tucker, man, bringing her home in second tonight. Bring up the man here, though, who got second place. Let's get a word with him. Old Alex Carr.
Alex, it's Wesley and Joe up in the booth. You got a copy?
I do, yes.
Well, great run there. Second place, coming home just behind Greg. 2 teammates, 1-2. Always good to see. And the main thing we talked about all race long, at least once this huge 270 green flag run, was pit strategy. So we saw y'all win about 103 laps after that first caution. Y'all came in, and then came in about 10, 15 laps before we thought you'd come in next just for an undercut on your original strategy, and kept you a little bit closer to Tucker there in the 8th.
Yeah, that was all strategic. We really wanted to make sure, first of all, that we could make it in 2 stops, and we did. But also, we wanted to make sure that whenever we got out of the pits, we had a good 15 laps, 10, 15, 20, heck, even 30 in some cases laps of fresh tire, because it is so dang tough to pass, especially as you saw what Tucker did when I was fighting him for, forever. When someone's running that top, you need tire to run the bottom. And so that was our strategy. We needed to make sure that we had the best tires possible. And that's why it was a no-brainer on that first pit stop to get 4 fresh tires. And luckily, it worked out for us.
Well, it worked out, it did. And you just said right there, it was tough to pass because you needed fresh tires on the bottom. So were the bottom side, at least top to bottom, were the bottom eating up more tire than it would have on the high side, or was it just due to how much momentum they carried off the top?
Yeah, it's really just the momentum there. I mean, there's tons of grip on the bottom. If you're able to get on the paint, your car will grip up pretty nicely, but it's just that momentum, right? So you need enough rear tire to drive off the corner to at least get to their door and to even have a chance to pass them. And even if they're in a worse tire situation, it's a struggle, but you need just enough to be able to really get on the gas out of the turn.
Well, that's good to know. Good good thought to think of, at least for whenever it comes to trucks, whenever they come here. For me, at least, to know. But overall, great run. You're up 14, I think it was. Yeah, 14 spots from where you qualified. So good drive through the field, and never really truly in clean air until I'd want to say that end. Was the car feeling good back there in the pack all the way?
Not really. It felt amazing in clean air after that first long run when it was just me and my uncle. We were just running laps. It was fantastic. But in traffic, it does get a little squirrely. I got a little loose a couple times too. The air bubble is definitely real. for sure. But it's really just the goal. Our strategy today was we're going to run where people aren't going to be. And we ran the bottom the whole time, and that strategy really paid off. So that gave us enough clean air to make enough passes to get to the front.
Well, good to know. Joe, you got anything for him?
Well, I guess he answered my question. I was going to say, are you and Greg Carr related? And I think you just said uncle.
Yep, that's right. Yep, I'm his nephew, and he's my uncle. So, yep, and we're part of Team Birdie Racing, part of CFM as well. Thank you to Vicente Salas and Evan Say for the great setups. But yeah, we're part of the same team, Team Birdie Racing. Shout out to John Binder and Show Dog Hyde as well for being great teammates. They were in there with us, strategizing the whole time. And yep, we're all a collective group and really close friends.
Well, there you go, man. Family members 1 and 2 tonight. Again, congratulations, our Alex.
Thank you very much.
There we go. That's Alex Carr. We'll bring this man up here, though, man. I had them all on lockdown. Greg, Joanne the booth, you got a copy?
Gotcha.
Well, you had the pit strategy figured out tonight. At what point did you say, okay, we can go the distance that we went, and we're going to make this a two-stop style race? But yet, on that last pit stop, undercutting a little bit, not going as long as you did like on the second one, knowing that maybe you didn't want Tucker and them to get that far out in front of them. So, what was the mindset there of figuring this thing out, putting it in victory lane?
Yep, you're exactly right. You figured it out. On the second run there, we stayed till me and my nephew Alex, we stayed till the tank was dry, but we had a lot of catching up to do to the leaders. So we're like, if it goes green, we're going to undercut some so we don't get so far behind. And that's what we did. We said, let's make it lap, I think it was 3:15. Alex made that call. And when we came out, we was actually about even with the leader. So that was the winning move. Got to thank Alex, because Alex, he's the one that helped with the fuel strategy. I was doing my best just to survive, man. I was wore out there with no cautions. I was dying. So appreciate my nephew there to figure out the fuel strategy.
Yeah, other than the fuel strategy out there, I mean, how did you feel about your setup? I mean, obviously, your Tucker and them, they felt like they had very fast setups out here tonight, but you looked pretty stable. Was it more of a, hey, look, I had this thing set up for the strategy of the pits, or, just, look, we're going to try all out speed? Because it is Rockingham. It's a very tough place sometimes.
Yeah, I'm an old man. I can't keep up with these guys in the short run, so I set up the car, or my team does, CFM Performance. They're the ones that make this work. We set up stuff for long runs, so if it goes long runs, then I always feel like I got a chance to be there at the end.
Well, this definitely was a long run. Wes, he said that he's an old gentleman. I'm an old guy. I'm trying to keep up with you up here. You got anything for him?
No. Okay, sorry.
You're good, Greg. Nah, I really got nothing for you. It was a great run you put on. That strategy called by Alex, great heads-up move to put you right there. Came out only a second or so behind Tucker and just got past him and then sailed away. So like you said, everything set up for the long run because you don't think you got on the short. Hey, lately, that's what we've been seeing with these races, and it's obviously paying off.
Yeah, exactly. And I really want to thank the league officials. Beginning of the year, we couldn't go 10, 20 laps without a caution, and they gave us all some really tough love. And the league is so much more fun now, and I'm sure that people watching, we're not running on hardly any yellows. So I want to really thank those guys for cleaning up the cautions, and it was some tough love for us all, but we needed it, and now we're getting some really good racing out here.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, you got anybody you want to thank for this awesome win here tonight?
Yeah, of course, my Team Birdie Racing. We wanted all 4 of us in the top 10. Josh had a little problems, but we had 3 out of 10 in the top 10. And I also want to thank CFM Performance, Evan C., Vicente Salas. They just create some just fantastic setups.
There you go, winner tonight, putting it in the victory lane. First race of 2026, Rockingham style. Folks, let's look at the unofficial results order here tonight. As Greg Carr wins it, Alex Carr there comes in second. Michael Tucker and a close one to the line there, finishing third. Shane Clore, man, bringing her home in fourth. Thomas Komacheski hanging on there to 5th. William Phillips up in 6th. Alexander Hammonds up in the 7th. John Bender finishing out 8th. Mark Sanchez there in 9th. And Timothy Latham rounds out the top 10. Look to the rest of it here. Wesley, Rockingham, and you just heard it in a couple of those guys' voices and the way they said, a tough track, very tiring style track. Takes a lot out of you here, a lot out of you in the car and the setup and the driver.
Yeah, and I'm looking at some of the chat as well. Some of these guys talking about how much their fingers ache and what they'd rather run than that race, just to how tough and grueling it was. So, hey, it put on a good race. We saw Alex Carr. He was able, once he made that pit stop, got around Tucker for the lead. He sailed away. Saw a great finish there between Tucker and Clore. 0.05 of a second, just barely eking out at the line. So, tough race, but a fun one to watch.
Absolutely, folks. Hope you enjoyed it. First race here, 2026, for the Greg Biffle Memorial Race here for Spartan Sim Racing League Master Series. And for myself and everyone, have a rest of the night. Good one.